All right. As per usual, we're going to be hanging out in the comments for a little bit until a couple people, 5, 6 people, whatever, show up. So, and anybody in the comments that wants to join, there's the link in the comments. So you're welcome to do that. Hello, how's it going? Audio check. Can you hear everything all right? Hopefully. I bet it's nice and warm down there, isn't it? Audio's good. All right, cool. Hey, Mark. As per usual, we'll just wait for a few people to get in. Link is in the comments for anybody who wants to join. Once we get 4 or 5 people in here, we'll be able to kind of get going. 73 degrees today. Yeah, it was the opposite. I think it was like 37 degrees today. So, actually pretty nice, but 81% humidity. That's not good. Right, I gotta go back, edit something. Mom, why are you watching my live? Gotta go back. All right. Anyways. Yeah. All right. Getting a couple people going here. Let's see. Got a few people going here. We'll wait a couple more, but I think we're going to have a couple people on tonight, hopefully, pending people's availability. I usually start at 8. I jumped on a little early. So might take a few people a few extra minutes, which is fine. All right. Hey, Smoke Ranch Garage, how's it going? So we got 5 people in here. So if anybody would like to share what they've been doing today, if they're working on anything car related or any upcoming things or projects or whatever, as the name entails, car talk. So anybody want to have any sort of car related, Mopar specific related, talk about anything, projects or cars or parts or whatever, or if anybody wants to ask me questions about anything, they can. So that's kind of the point. Let me check something else here quick. I'll be right back. I look at a different tab. Okay. Let me see something here. All right. Let's see. I got a couple things going on here while we're waiting. So, what's going on with anybody here? Any individual projects or anything? Or if nobody wants to share, I'll go into talking about related things. Took the old junk speakers out of your 3-speaker dash yesterday. Oh, 3-speaker dash car. That's cool. Challenger was a factory 3-speaker dash. Of course, the speakers are gone, but still kind of cool. Wasn't very common option from what I've been told. I know my dad's old 68 Charger he used to have had that. Gonna put restored stock ones back in. That's cool. Smoke Ranch Garage. You're registered for No Name. Cool. Yeah, three speaker with AM and FM. That's cool. It's a good combination. I'm gonna silence my phone when it keeps going off. Oh, you're registered for No Name as well. Awesome. Let me see. Yeah, you just got to get some content out. I mean that CUDA will draw some crowd. Let me see here. Yeah, you got 52 subscribers. Oh, I'm not even subscribed to you, I guess. There's number 53. You don't have to race to be there. Um you can just go there and hang out. A lot of people register before they actually hit the 500 extra little, motivation. Um that's always good. Yeah, you've been putting out some content. That's cool. I didn't know that you had this much stuff. To be honest, I didn't even know you had a channel. But that's really cool. Let's see, you got 10 videos. That's good. Yeah, no, you're doing great. And then you're not good at watching, you just want to race. Yeah, I don't blame you. I did a whole lot of watching last year and I wanted to race. Let's see, Smoke Ranch, where are you at? 175. I'm gonna say, and I'm not a expert or anything on any of this stuff, on video stuff, on subscribers, on all that, but my advice for both of you is to create a schedule for your videos. If you want to do one video a week, which you got to do one video a week minimum, is my opinion. Pick a day. Pick a day: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, whatever day. And release a video every single week that day and at the same time. In the YouTube studio, you can go in and you can schedule what time a video will release. And if you want, you can film 5 different videos in one day. And it's really genius to do that. You can film 4 or 5 videos in a day if you want to. Do not release more than one video a day. And what you don't want to do is you don't want to do a bunch of videos, like 4 or 5 videos back to back to back to back, like 4 or 5 days in a row, if you're not going to have videos that are going to sustain it. Create a schedule depending on what kind of content you can put out. If you have enough stuff working on your car or working on whatever that you could put out one video a week, do one video a week. Pick a day. Pick, I want to do every Thursday at 5 o'clock, something like that. Do a video every week. Or if you want to do 2 videos, I want to do one every Monday and every Friday. Okay, then schedule it. So, what I try to do, and my schedule's been all kinds of screwed up lately, but what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to do Fridays 5 o'clock. That's what I always do. And basically I do once a week. Friday 5 o'clock. I'm not gonna have one this week, but Friday 5 o'clock is usually what I do. And then if I have more content, I'll do a Tuesday or a Monday as well. But have a baseline that you schedule and then add on to it when you can. All right, anyways. And if anybody has questions or anything related to that, I can give my opinion on it. Let's see. For Ikuda, I have a lift I'll be putting in as well. After that, I'll be going through the No Name rulebook and doing videos on addressing issues or asking questions about the rules. Yeah, I'm not too up to date on a bunch of the rules related to it. I know there's a lot of real reasonable stuff in there. Just like drive shaft loop and stuff like that, depending on what you have. And it depends on what you're going to do with the car. Like if you're just running it, with the stock or warmed over 383 in that CUDA, you should be able to go down the track pretty much no problem as is. You're going to need to drain your antifreeze. Any glycol coolant, any coolant with glycol in it, because that's the stuff that makes it like super like slick. If you have a spill on the track, that would not be good. Or if you are halfway down the track and overheat and spit something out of the radiator, then the back half of the track has to be shut down and cleaned up. So let's last year we did really good on time management as far as cleanups go, but I think this year, even with more people, we could probably do even better. And I think it'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it. Yep, and 71 didn't have an overflow tank. So, related to that, you could, on the 71, I'm trying to think, because I had a 71 Roadrunner that was a 383. It's the same front, basically. Firewall's different, but the actual inner fenders and frame rails are the same. And radiator support. You've got that, same on the 69 as well. You've got a hose that the top of the radiator has like a little barbed nipple that you can run a hose off of. That usually it runs along the side of the radiator and then down like to the lower radiator support. If you had an extra one of those hoses, you can get a hose, go off of there, go down and into. They don't even care what it is. It could be you could zip tie a Coca-Cola bottle to your inner fender as long as it's somewhat secure. It'll be fine. As long as the hose goes in and it won't overflow, that's fine. There was probably a few people that did that last year. I don't know. I wasn't looking at people's tech or anything, but it doesn't matter what you have as long as you have a coolant overflow catch, something to catch liquid so it doesn't end up on the ground. So, not a big deal. I know you have to have a drive shaft safety loop if you have slicks. If you're running slicks. I don't know if that applies to drag radials. And I also think that the drive shaft safety loop is a time thing as well. That even if you're not running slicks and you run so and so time, it might be something like that. Yeah, that would be an easy fix if you can't come up with something cool-ish. Yeah. There's, I mean, it would, and you got plenty of time to think about it too. Um, the clock's ticking on it, but you got several months to come up with a fairly simple thing. So that's good. I know, especially on a car as nice as that one, you don't probably want to screw a bunch of stuff to the inner fender and have silicon tank there or anything. You want to have something nice, or just for the race, rig something up to work. I don't know. It just depends on what you want to do. It's your car. Even thought about an overflow tank yet for either car. Let's see, is that still here? Yes. Okay. All right. So, 20 minutes in, 8 people in here. That's all right. Who do we have in the comment? And now it's 6. Okay. Who do we have in the comments? I know we got Scarlet, 4-Eye Kuda, we got Smoke Ranch, we got Scarlet, 4-Eye Kuda, and Smoke Ranch, basically. So who else do we have? I know there's several more of you. About fuel line, as you know, Kuda Challenger has 4 rubber vent lines. They're 10-inch, each a 12-inch or 12. They wouldn't count those. I don't think. I don't think they would count those. And those are vent lines. They're not. Yeah, they're not going to count that as an actual. You got your. And I don't even think they really check that very closely. Basically, what they don't want to see is they don't want to see you running a 7/16 or 3/8 fuel line all the way from your tank to your carburetor. That's basically what they're trying to get at. And if they really wanted to nitpick, there's over 12 inches of rubber fuel line in a stock fuel line system for an E-body. There's about 4 to 6 inches between the tank and the hard line. And then from the hard line to the fuel pump is another 3-4 inches. And then from the fuel pump to the other hard line is another 3-4 inches. And then either at the end of the hard line, it's either a rubber hose connector, which is another couple inches, or it would be a direct screw in, depending on if you got Edelbrock or Holley and what your fuel system is like. So it just depends on what you have, I guess. I don't think that they're going to... I think it's just you can't have over 12 inches of line in one spot. I don't know. Might have to ask somebody else about that. I'm not sure. And obviously, I didn't have a car there, so nobody asked me about it. You have to change your battery hold down as per the rules. Why? You can use a bungee cord. I don't care. You could have a bungee cord holding your battery down, and they don't care. As long as it's secure and it doesn't move much. I guess I don't know what your current battery setup is, but I guess I don't see why they would have an issue with the current setup unless your battery is just flopping somehow. Yeah, I don't know. I think it should be fine. I know I'm just going to have a stock battery hold down. That's why you want to do videos and get it rolling from Dallas. Yeah, it's a good idea. When my car's done to the point that it's ready for No Name, I'll probably do something similar. I'll do probably a 5-6 minute video, walk around, show up top underneath of the car and say, hey, is this good? Because nobody wants to be the people that shows up to No Name and then it goes through inspection and they say, this is wrong. Nobody wants to be in that situation. So that is important. Oh, if it's in the back, you have to have a hard hold down? Okay. Okay, 3/8 rods rather than a quarter. Okay. I guess, yeah, if you have the battery in the trunk, I guess that might be different. I guess I never paid attention to the XI only stock location. So, yeah. I guess I didn't know that. not moving the battery to the trunk anyways. Mine'll be right where it was originally. I know that's an extra 40 pounds or whatever where it doesn't need to be, but I don't want to run an external kill switch. So there are some nicer ones, but external kill switches on a nice car just look funny to me. You're walking around a car at a show or at an event or something, and you're like, oh, this thing's really cool. And then you get to the back bumper, and there's just some big clunky switch that you see, and you're like, oh, okay. And it's fine, but it's just not my thing. I feel like the functions of the car should be contained within the car. And I know the kill switch is a safety thing, but it just looks funny. I think going through the rule, doing a video would help me as well as a bunch of other people. Yeah, it would. You agree you're not a fan of external kill switches? Yeah. They look clunky. So, yeah. I'm looking forward to getting the car ready. Won't be the quickest car there, not by a long shot. But it'll have enough power to do some damage. So notice how I'm saying V car, I'm not saying what car. Maybe more than one car. Probably just one. Probably just one, and maybe the tow vehicle. Depending on if I get the tow vehicle project that I'm hoping I get. Keep the 426 swap Dodge Colt under wraps. I don't have a Hemi or a Dodge Colt. That might be kind of cool though. Ridiculous. Kind of a waste of Hemi, but cool. Those Dodge Colts are kind of weird. They're cool, but they're weird. Well, regardless of anything else, it'll be a Mopar B body. And it'll be one of the cars that has been seen on the channel already, so you can narrow it down pretty quick. You can narrow it down to one of 4 vehicles. It's 4 possibilities. You got a 25% chance of guessing. Let's check something here in my other tab. one thing I'm gonna be doing probably pretty soon is I'm gonna be, if I remember the directions of filming, that carburetor right there will be getting swapped onto the 71 Roadrunner potentially pretty soon once it warms up. That might help it run better. And then I'll probably have to track down a fuel leak. I think the hard line between the tank and the pump, somewhere there's a pinhole or there's a loose connection or something. Or there's maybe a loose hose clamp. I'll have to see. I'll have to see what really happens with that. Because after sitting for a day or two, or even just after sitting just all day, all the fuel just is gone out of it. So that's something that needs to get figured out. Yeah, I don't think it should be a big deal. Yep, I was cranking on that the other day. Yesterday, I did my most recent video on that jump starter thing. Somebody sent me a jump pack thing to review. So don't use a lighter to find the leak. Yeah, that's a good way to get burned or blown up. Yeah, don't do that. Just a, generally speaking, bad idea. Yeah, you don't want to look for a gas leak with flames. I probably need to do the same thing on the Super Bee because I was trying to get that to pull from the tank and cranking on that thing over and over and over again, and I wasn't wanting to pick up fuel. I think it was just starting to pick up fuel. So I got my, where is it? My 850 over there. I gotta throw gaskets in that. Might need to put different jets in it. I don't know. It needs a little bit more cleaning, and then it'll be good to go. And I'll probably leave the jets in it that are in it. Just for now, and tune from there. I think the jets in it are probably too big. It's got 80s in the front, 86 in the back, I think. So, not perfectly ideal, but it'll work. I just got to make sure I have a full rebuild kit and everything. I just got to make sure I get the gaskets in and make sure it's not leaking. Then I can take the 750 that's on it off and give it back to Mark. Because he needs it for his blower engine. And then I might have to go through and do a hard line. Do I have an AFR meter when tuning a car? I don't. I've never done an AFR meter. It's a good idea. I never did it. It's kind of expensive too. Like $200 or something. But it's a good idea. I'll just read the plugs. Which I'm not very good at, but I can learn. But I know when it was dynoed, that 440 was running pretty lean. Cost is high, and you need one for each bank if you have dual exhaust, yeah. The one car, I probably won't even have exhaust. It'll probably just be open headers with collector extensions. That car sounds good. The little bit that I've got it to run in the car with open headers, whew, that thing sounds good. But it's loud. It has to be expected. Yeah, that's the Super Bee. That's got a 500 horsepower 440 in it. Ironhead 500 horse. Anyone that says you can't make 500 horse with an Ironhead, well, I got proof otherwise. So that'll be fun. It'll be fun once I get that going. And it's close. I was gonna say it's been a lot of work, but it hasn't. It's been a lot of work, but it only took course of about 2.5 months. Brought it from a roller to a almost running car. It'll run. It just transmission's hooked up, drive shafts hooked up, rear end is all good. It's ready to go, except it needs hoses for fuel lines to be fixed up, and it needs me to put the dash back in it. So there's work to do, but it'll be fine. And it will be running on the street this year. Driving that thing all over. That and the 69 Roadrunner and the 71 Roadrunner. They're all going to get a lot of street time this spring and summer. Let's see, we got 8 people in here. Who do we got aside from Scarlet 4-eyed Cuda? It's electric ignition, electronic. Cleaning the kitchen at work, Scott? That doesn't sound like fun. You gotta do what you gotta do. Yeah, it's electronic ignition. The distributor it's in it, I don't know what kind it is. It's like a factory style. But it's got all kinds of kind of funny stuff going on. It's got it's completely locked out. There's no advance in it at all. It's just full advance all the time. So it's kind of weird. I guess it was kind of a racing thing. And I might end up swapping it down the road, but it works for right now. Yeah. Thank you for cleaning the kitchen, Scott. Watch too many food shows with ugly kitchens makes 4-eyed Cuda a little bit weary. Gotta do it all the time. Gotta keep it clean. Especially around kids. Kids just get sick. But yeah, I'm looking forward to getting back to working on the Super Bee. I've got to get the wiring for the dash all done. Got the stock original cluster. And then I've got, oh geez, what else is it? I've got everything to hook up. I just got to get fuses, those little glass fuses that are probably going to fail. But I got to get some of those for it. And the engine bay harness is new, and the dash harness is new. And I think I even have a tail light harness that's new or very close to new. Or like a really, really good quality. So I'm set up pretty good for the wiring of the car. I don't know about my headlight harness. I think I have a headlight harness. I think I got headlight and tail light harness at the same place. I'd have to double check. Yeah, I got them in South Dakota. Yep. So I just got to wire the car, put the console in the car. My shifter linkage is set up. I just need to adjust it. The car's going to have black seats and black console in it for now. I want to get the correct B7 blue seat covers eventually. I just don't have them right now. And they're probably back ordered for 2 years or something stupid like that. Yeah, and then put the front clip back on, the bumpers on. I'm wanting to get a fiberglass scoop hood. Like the 6-pack style, but the hinge style, not the lift off. So that'll be cool. And kind of suit the car, give the car a little bit extra room for that taller intake, because it's got basically the tallest intake for a scene. One of the tallest that I've seen. It's like a Mopar M1, but a little bit smaller on the ports, which is actually hurting the engine, but it's keeping airspeed and volumetric efficiency really, really, really good. So that's what the deal is with that. I actually got the dyno sheets right here. It made its best possible power at 29 degrees of timing. 550 torque at 4,200 RPM. And 501.6 horsepower at 5,500. And that's with an intake that's not port matched. The port matched just the ends of that intake. So it matched just a little bit better and didn't have a little bit of a shelf. It'd probably be 510. So I feel good saying it's a 500 horsepower engine. And the carburetor that was used is not as good as what's going to be on it. And it was causing the the exhaust temperatures to be pretty high because it was running pretty lean. And lean is good, but lean is bad at extended periods of time. Yeah, up near 6,000 RPM. Cylinders 1, 2, and 7 and 8 were almost 1,300 degrees. So that's not good. It's a little bit too lean. So that's why I'm leaving the bigger jets in the carburetor for now. I'll probably make it a little bit too rich, but it'll work. It'll work for now. Then I'll take a couple jet sizes out of it if I need to. I don't know what I'm going to need for power valves. I've got 6 5s in it now, I think, yeah. You're excited you'll be picking up a 62 two-door Valiant on Saturday? Believe not. It's like a bucket list car. Chop the top, suicide door, mini tub, 344 speed, destroyer. Interesting. Those cars have always been just funny to me. They're not bad. They're just not my thing. I think they're kind of like a acquired taste, I guess. They're cool, but I'm more into like 64, 65. Out of the older stuff, the 62 through 65, I always pick the 64, 65 stuff. 65 Coronet is a car I'd like to own one day. '65 Coronet would be cool. Do like a 990 kind of clone. I've actually seen a real A990 car. It was really cool. They called it the Hemi Coffin. Can't get a whole lot cooler of a name than that. The Hemi Coffin. So, yeah, that'll be cool. 344 speed. That might be kind of cool. And those cars are smaller. 4 speeds are always fun. I have a hard time getting behind that Destroyer Gray. It's just shiny primer. Whenever I see that color, I'm like, oh, somebody clear coated the primer. I'm sure it'll look cool, especially mini tubbed. Bigger tires under it. Before Ikuta had a 65 Valiant. I just had a hard time getting into those early A bodies. Well, I kind of have a hard time getting into any A body. Oof. They're the only Mopars I don't really like. But they are Mopars, so you gotta appreciate them. So, anyways, how is anyone and everyone doing? Anybody got anything interesting going on that they want to share in the chat, or if anybody wants to join on screen, I can put a link in. Even over the K car, I'd take an A body over a K car, but I don't know that much about the K cars though, like the Dodge Diplomats and stuff. I know Dylan McCool is doing that Dodge Diplomat or whatever it is, police car with turbo and stuff. So I'm sure somebody finds them interesting. I mean, they're not the worst looking thing, but they never amounted to anything. GLHS would be cool, yeah. Smoke Ranch Garage learned to drive a 4-speed in a 65 Barracuda. Well, that's cool. I learned how to drive 4-speed in a 69 Roadrunner. And that was last year. And I'm still not that great at it. Hey Testa, how's it going? There's a link to join in the Telegram, in the group chat and Telegram, Chris. I'll send it to you again, though. No, that's the wrong thing. Nope. Let's see. StreamYard link. There, I accidentally sent the link to that jump starter I just reviewed.
What's up, Ryan?
How's it going, Chris?
Oh, it's going.
Well, that's good.
It's another Thursday.
Another Thursday.
Another Thursday. Is the temperature warm enough where you're at?
It was 36 or so today. Warm
I
enough
think it was
to
like
melt
60.
Warm enough to melt a little. No,
a little bit of snow.
just a little.
Can you see the cars now?
I cleared them off the other day.
Oh, did you?
I cleared off the 69 and the 71 Roadrunners yesterday.
Did you start them up or no?
Funny thing. So I got sent a jump starter jump box thing to review in a video. So I was going to go out and do it on the 69 Roadrunner because I figured the battery was dead because just the day before I tried to start it and I was cranking on it and it just wasn't want to start. The battery was weak. You know how it goes where it's like burp, 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 and it's just done. And I figure, okay, well, I'm gonna use the jump starter on it. So I go out and before I even put the jump starter on it, because I'm filming the whole thing, I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna go ahead and just hit the key to prove to you guys that the battery's dead. It didn't even turn over one revolution and fired up.
Oh, jeez.
after sitting for 4 months.
Oh, wow.
And it sat there and idled.
Jeez. Oh, jeez. Good Lord.
It's like, you get that Chinese jump box thing away from me.
Yeah. I don't need any of that.
And the battery was dead. I mean, it was. I have no idea.
Wow.
It was just
That's
weird.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Well, at least it runs. I mean, that's better than sitting out there and pissing around trying to get it to run. You know?
Oh, yeah.
You start the 71 up or no?
Tried to, didn't want to.
and didn't want to.
It you know what? I think it's out of gas, also. So
Oh,
that kind of goes against it. But
yeah,
it didn't want to pull gas from the tank. But I did thing on the jump starter because the battery was basically dead,
yeah.
and you know you could hook it up and you could hear the difference when the jump starter was on. So, but the stupid thing about the jump starter is it's got this safety mechanism in it where it'll only supply power for like 2 or 3 seconds of cranking, or else it'll be like, well, you're pulling too much voltage. I'm gonna turn off. Yeah, it doesn't work
What
for whole
good
cars.
does that do?
I don't know.
That's pretty stupid.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know.
Jeez, man, oh man.
Just weird. But other than that, it was fine. I mean, it's got a lot of battery life to it. It's got things where you can plug your phone or whatever in. It's got a big old flashlight on it too.
Oh wow.
So it was all right. It's got a big flashlight and it's got a little stand that you can set up the flashlight, or it has a little spot that you can hang it from a hook too if you're working in an engine bay. So
Oh,
it's cool.
nice.
It's just
Is it is it
not
like a
for doing
little
stuff.
one? Is it like a
It's
real little
about
one?
it's about a it's like an oversized brick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's
Mm,
about probably 12, 14 inches long, probably 4 inches thick, 6 inches wide. So it's not real big. I mean, you could throw it in the back seat, under a seat, or in the trunk of a car or whatever.
yeah.
So it turned
Huh.
out all right. But I told the company that sent it to me. I said, you can send it to me. I'll go through it. I'll review it. I said, but I'm not lying about it. I said, if you want me to review your stuff, okay, sure. But I'm giving an honest review. If I don't like it, I'm going to tell people I don't like it.
Yeah.
So that turned out
Mm.
all right. I mean, I was critical of it, but it ended up working fine. And
Hmm.
they actually emailed me. They're like, "We saw your video. Thank you so much for doing a video." And I'm like, um, half that video I was bashing your product, but okay.
Yeah, whatever trips your trigger, huh?
Okay.
Jeez.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. It was
Did
all
you have
right.
to send it? Did you have to send it back to him then, Ryan?
Nope. Get to keep it.
No. Well, you get to keep it.
Yep. They're
Nice.
like, "We'll send this to you, and you keep it, and you review it, so then you get to keep it." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, sure."
Hmm.
So I don't know. I'll use it, and I guess it doesn't. I guess the classic car starters and stuff draw a lot more amperage and stuff than a new car starter. So that's why it has like that 3 second safety kickoff. Because I guess the
Yeah.
classic draw too much amperage or something.
Well, my wife was looking at one of those because they were kind of portable and easy to carry. And then we started reading about it. And I said to her, I said, I don't think it's going to have enough guts to turn the cars over, you know, especially if you have, higher compression and stuff like that, so
Well, I will say it brought the battery in the 71 from dead when it did jump it for a total of 3 seconds. But
uh
during that 3 seconds, it was turning over like it had a fresh battery in it.
yeah,
So, but when I tried to do that without it on there, it like would turn over halfway and then just click.
yeah. So it did some good, just,
Oh yeah, it just isn't very efficient.
yeah, it's probably made for smaller engines and
Yeah,
stuff with less draw.
yeah. A few people in here said they saw the video. Yep.
I just saw it popped up. I haven't watched it yet. I'll have to watch
Yeah, I don't know. It's got a couple of funny moments in there.
it.
I had to kind of poke fun at myself when I was editing that video. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna try to hold the button on there, and I had a socket extension thing that I was just gonna jump the starter relay under the hood
Yeah.
so people could just see what was going on. And on Mopars, they had them in one of two locations. They had them on the firewall, or they had them right next to the battery. And I thought it was on the firewall, so I'm sitting there like completely mind blank, thinking it was the one on the firewall, holding my socket extension, like waving it at the firewall, just blanking out like, "Where's the starter relay?" And I put text over the video. I said, "Really? You forgot where the starter relay is, dummy?" So that was funny. And then I remembered, I'm like, "Oh yeah, it's the one down by the battery." 'Cause I don't know why it's like that. Some cars had them up by the firewall, some didn't. I had a because some people say they started putting them by the battery tray in '71, which would make sense
Yeah,
because
yeah.
that's a '71. But we had a '73 Charger that had it on the firewall. So
Oh, that's
I
interesting.
don't know.
Hmm.
And that was the one that I did the most, was I was always jumping the starter relay on the one on the '73 Charger when we had that way back when, so that's what I was used to. That was the mindset I went into.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, some things are better than nothing, especially when you need it. Yeah. Good point.
Yeah. I was just reading that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good thing to have. Hey, John. Your 70 Dart
Hmm.
has it by the battery? Okay. And I don't know if A bodies and B bodies are different. I'm not sure on that. I think all E bodies had it by the battery tray. I don't remember. And I don't have a E body here that's complete anymore. Okay, Dart Sport by the battery tray. Yeah, maybe it's a body thing. By the battery
I'm
tray.
trying to
Maybe all A
remember where
bodies.
Tom's is. I'm trying to remember where Tom's is at on his Coronet. I think his might be by the
Firewall.
battery tray too.
Probably firewall on a 69. I know every 69 that I have here has it by the firewall.
Oh, I can't remember anymore. That's not one of those things I try to look for.
Yeah.
I know my buddy's Challenger. He's got a 72 Challenger and it's by the battery tray.
Yeah.
So
Different cars have them in kind of different spots.
so what's up with the satellite? You get anything done on that or no?
The Belvedere. No. Nope. The Belvedere is the same way it's been for about 3 weeks
No.
because I'm thinking the focus has been shifted away from it.
Uh-oh.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the mind wandering to now?
Back to where it should be.
What? The Super Bee?
The Super Bee is this close to done. So it's easier. It's quicker.
Yeah.
And I
Well,
still want to have that as an insurance policy.
yeah.
And the
You gonna
Super
put
B
the
is just
tunnel ram on? You gonna put the tunnel ram on it or no?
no.
No.
The Super B is just so much cooler. It's just so much cooler. It's just way better.
Yeah, plus you got 10-inch Kragers on the back of that.
Mm-hmm. 10-inch Kragers with N50 Pro Track tires. Yeah.
Yeah, that's way
That
cooler.
yeah. That gives it a little bit of an attitude.
Well, that's good. You get that one. At least you can get that one done without too much hassle.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm not worried about getting that one done. If I had time to do it, which I don't have a ton of time, but if I had a week worth of time, I could have it done.
What's that to be?
Yeah. Because the
In the
engines
Belvedere,
and
you got.
yeah, the Belvedere needs a lot of time.
Yeah, well, you got to build an engine and everything for that.
Yeah. The Super B's already together. So I don't know. It'll be what it'll be.
Yeah.
So, it'll be what it'll be.
Nice.
Well, Scout with an S and Scarlet and Smoke Ranch, yeah. There's a link I'll throw in there again for anybody that feels like joining. Anybody is welcome at this time to come and hang out and talk about cars or no name or whatever, you know. Yeah, the Super V's got a little bit of attitude in the back end with those N50s and that. Yeah,
Do you have Kragers for the front of it?
I need to find some.
Do you?
Mm-hmm. Well, and they're the newer style ones. I don't know if you guys can see that screen or not. No,
Are
oh,
yours the
there it
newer?
goes.
Are yours the newer style ones
Yep.
with the flatter spokes?
Yeah. I like the older ones better, but these are still cool.
Yeah. Nice thing about these
Still,
newer ones is that they're not unilug.
yeah, yeah.
You can get them direct bolt.
The yeah, the Unilogs. I mean, they're fine. They're just. I'd rather have direct bolt.
Well, yeah, the unilug thing's a pain. Trying to get the washers and crap set on them is just a pain in the ass.
Yeah, I got them on the '69 Roadrunner.
Oh, do you?
They're the older style
Yeah.
Unilogs. They're just annoying, but yeah, I'd like a pair of skinny, but I don't know. I mean, I think it'd be cool to put skinnies on the front for when it's at no name or when it's at the track or something. But
Yeah.
for for street driving, I'll probably have 15x7s or 15x6s in the front.
It probably wouldn't look bad with the set of 6s with the 10s on the back.
Yeah,
I mean, it won't have the look of like a 4 or 5-inch wheel, but
right.
it'll still look decent.
Oh yeah, I think so. Kragers are just so expensive.
Oh, everything's expensive.
Yeah, no kidding. It's all ridiculous.
I haven't looked to see what, because last year I bought a set of well, I put 7 in. I had 6s the whole way around on the Firebird because that's the wheels I bought, and I wanted to put 8s on it, but I can't fit 8s on the back of it. So I bought a set of 7s and put on it. I think I paid. Trying to think of what I paid. I think I paid $143 a wheel. I don't know what they are now. I'm sure they went up in price.
Yeah. Smoke Ranch says everything is better with skinnies on the front. Yeah. Until you want to take a tight turn at a little bit of speed, and then you can start getting nervous.
Yeah, you peel the tire right off.
Yeah. That scares me. No, I think on the front I'll have 15x6 or 7, like a 225/60, somewhere right around there for size.
I don't know if I'd run a 60 though. You could probably run like a 70 series and still get away with it.
I just like the profile of the 60s.
Yeah.
Then it lets the front end sit maybe a little lower, maybe a 235/60, 225, 235, right around there. But and I'll be probably having to adjust the torsion bars up or down on each side a little bit just to make it sit level.
Yeah.
And I got to work on the front suspension of that thing because that's all original front suspension.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. The front tires on it are kind of sitting a little bit like this.
Uh-oh.
Should be more
I'm
like
sure
that. They're a little
little canted in, huh?
Yeah, a little bit. I've got
It,
brand new upper control arms and all that for it.
well, make sure you do the lower control arm bushings because they usually go to hell since
Those
there's
are the
only
ones
one.
those are the ones I don't want to do.
Yeah, they're fun.
Yeah, if I do, I'll probably,
We've already.
I don't know.
Well, there's a 2-part video on my channel on rebuilding the front end of a Mopar.
Yeah.
We did Tom's.
Well, the nice thing is I have, with all the parts and stuff I have an extra set of lower control arms, so I could actually go through and rebuild those and everything and just take the old ones off, plop them right on while I'm there.
Yeah, instead of
having it apart for a long time.
and trying to fight with it to get it out.
Yeah.
Because he had I know Jed had done it because I watched Jed do it on his channel, and we did it. And I think, well, Tom took it in and pressed him out at work, and it almost broke the press trying to get them out of there because they're in there so tight. Yeah, it's not fun getting them apart. It really isn't.
Yeah, I've been told
The uppers are easy. It's the lowers that are the problem.
I've been told that they make a real big difference if you drive it before and after.
Oh yeah, my God, because we took his out and they were wasted. I mean, they were just junk. I mean, they were actually rubbing there wasn't any rubber left. I mean, it just deteriorated and they were just rubbing the inside of the shell. They were bad. The problem he ran into is that we kept trying to get an alignment on the car, and it just wasn't holding alignment because everything was just so worn the hell out. So, I mean, we put radius arm bushings in it and upper lower control bushings, and we went to the thing.
Yeah, I've got pretty much everything to redo the front. I probably need to get like tie rod ends and stuff, but
Yeah,
those aren't real expensive or anything.
It made a big difference in his.
Hmm. Yeah, because I'd like to drive the car, you know, like to drive
Well,
around.
and after 50 years, that crap just, it
It
doesn't,
gets
it wears the hell out.
that rubber just gets dry.
It's not meant to last forever.
It'll just that rubber will just get dry and crack, and little chunks will start falling out.
Yeah. Now, are you putting poly in it, or are you going to just put rubber back in it?
I don't know. I don't have any currently.
No,
I've not really thought about it.
because we put rubber back in Tom's, and it seems to handle pretty good.
Mm.
I think he even braced the lower control arms too when he had it off.
Yeah, they got those weld-in stiffening plates.
Yeah,
I
he
think
made his.
I'm probably gonna do those too.
Yeah, he made his own out of. He had flat steel, and he just cut and made his own.
Yeah, yeah. I'd like the suspension to kind of be up to par.
Yeah.
Especially when it's got a 500 horsepower 440 in it.
Are you going to put a bigger sway bar in the front?
I have one. I don't know. I don't know. Uh, yeah, I'll probably put the bigger one I got in.
Z put an 1.25 inch bar in the front of his. It handles good. It is tight. I mean, it really does handle well. It's funny because his didn't cut. His was a 318 car, and it came from the factory without a sway bar. It didn't have one on it, so he had to create stuff to make the sway bar fold in.
Hmm.
So he had to make
Yeah, this
brackets to
one.
fit the frame.
Yeah, this one had the sway bar and everything because it's a Super B.
No,
So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But I'm thinking that's probably what I'm gonna do. Is I'm probably gonna just take my other set that I have and just do them all off the car and all that, and just go through. Probably clean them up, paint them, put new bushings in them. Hopefully, it won't be too terribly hard to do that.
yeah,
I've seen some people um they got there's the kind of inner shell, and then there's the rubber or the poly, and then there's the outer shell
mm-hmm,
on those, is it right? Yeah. I've
yeah,
seen some people press out just the inner shell and the rubber and leave the outer shell in place and just put the new rubber and new inner shell in because it's so hard to get that outer shell out. And I
mm-hmm.
don't know how you do that, but I've heard people doing that lately.
Well, the problem with that is that rubber's bonded to that inner shell, and it's
Oh,
also bonded.
possibly.
It's bonded to the inner and bonded to the outer because that's what gives you your resistance in your suspension. And
Right.
now I know some of the poly bushings, they want you to use the original shell, and you just snap the poly bushing in there, or just push it in. But that's kind of the way that's how that bushing's designed. I don't know how they would. I don't even know how you would even separate the rubber on them, to be honest with you, because one of the biggest problems is that when you press that pin in, that inner shell seizes itself to that pin. So
Right.
then you got to kind of get that off. And I think we used a cold chisel to just kind of split it and get it off of there. So
Yeah.
it was a lot of
I see.
damn work.
Yeah, they couldn't have just made it easier somehow.
No.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be too terribly hard because I've got some nice lower control arms. I think I actually have a set that have good bushings in it, but I think they're just old originals that look good, so I don't really trust it.
Well, in a pinch it'll work, but who
Yeah,
wants to do the job? Oh, who wants to
I
do
don't
that
want to take it
twice?
apart again.
Yeah, exactly. Because
When I take it apart once, I don't want to do it again.
in order to get the damn lower control arm out, you got to pop the damn torsion bar out, or tap it back. You got to take the radius rod off. So it's not as simple as just dropping the control arm out.
No, I wish. Wish it was that easy. But yeah, I don't know. I think I'm going to leave the torsion bars that are in it. I think I'm going to, when I end up taking them out for the control arms, I'm going to end up just putting the same ones back in. Because the torsion bars that are in the car, I'd have to look at the number. I believe they're the originals, but I believe they're actually 440 bars because this car was special ordered with 391 gears, which got you the
Um,
heavier duty suspension packages.
okay, so it's drag pack car.
Yeah, basically. So I think it's got the 440 bars in it. And even if it has 383 bars, it might have just a little bit more flex in the front end, but I'm not going to screw around with it.
Yeah, because it probably has the heavier bars anyways. Because most of them had the heavier suspension anyways under them, being a Super B.
Super Bs and Roadrunners, yeah. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they actually are, but I don't know. It'll be nice because I'll get those out and I'll probably while they're out, clean them up and paint them and make them look nice and do a bunch of stuff I don't need to do.
Yeah, we didn't do that. We just took it apart and fixed everything and jammed shit back together.
Yeah, that's a problem I have. Whenever I take something apart, I want to make it all nice and clean and shiny again. But I've got
Yeah, you get old and then you don't give a shit about that. You just want it to be safe.
yeah.
I
Yeah,
could have done that with the Firebird. We just jammed bushings in it and threw it back together and called it a day.
Yeah. Hey, it works.
Yeah, it's safe. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
So. Sometimes I think maybe I should have painted them. Well,
Yeah, I don't know.
Ain't nothing a wire brush and some Rust-Oleum can't solve.
Good enough for a while.
Yeah, it gets driven. It's not a trailer queen. So it's going to get shitted up again anyway. So what's the difference?
Yeah, true. The only thing I don't know what the deal is with the Super B right now is I'm getting a lot of when I try to push the car or whatever because it's got the drive shaft, transmission, everything in it. I'm getting a lot of drag whenever I try to push it or turn the wheels. And I don't think it's the rear end because the rear end it's the original axles, which are fine. The bearings are fine. I checked, but it's the center section is all brand new, rebuilt. I put gear oil in it, and that's all fine. I think I'm going to, but I know the transmission is only about half full of fluid, so I don't know if the transmission is kind of dragging a little or what, but there's just something about it is kind of me off. But whatever it is, it's kind of getting better. The more I push it or pull it around, the better it's getting. So I think everything's just kind of trying to mesh together. I don't know why, but the I think what I'm gonna do is I might drop the drive shaft off of the rear end and then try spinning the tires just to make sure that it's not the center section. Because then I'll know that it's just the transmission dragging, which I've been told can happen. Especially because that's a brand new rebuilt transmission. It's never had fluid in it. None of the clutches or anything in it have ever had any fluid on it. And it's only been run while connected to that transmission for a minute. So fluid has not circulated through it really. So I think, and it's got a shift kit in it, and there might not be any fluid in that yet or whatever. I don't know what the excuse is, but something is causing it to just drag pretty hard. So
I think maybe I'd probably try and fill it with transmission fluid and just let it circulate through there.
Yeah.
Put it in and out of gear a couple times.
Yeah.
And just see what that does. See if it makes it any easier. You could also check if you pull the drive shaft off, pull your wheels and drums off, because it'll make it easier. Just grab a hold of the yoke on the rear and just give it a turn and just see if it feels tight.
Mm-hmm.
If you take the wheels and drums off, it's going to make it so much easier to feel things.
Yeah.
So, and you'll be able to feel if maybe it's tight in there, because they don't use a crush sleeve on those Chryslers, do they? They just use a spacer.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So maybe the bearings are just tight in the rear from it being assembled.
Well, and it's weird because before I swapped the rear end, the center chunk, before I swapped the center chunk, I could push that car around with one hand. Now that was without a drive shaft. That was without a drive shaft, though. So,
well, if you drop the drive shaft out and you push it with one hand, then it's probably the transmission. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
But if it still does it even after you take the drive shaft out of it, well, then I'd throw it up and pull the wheels and drums off and just feel, just spin it with your hand just to see what it feels like, on the yoke side. Because I know there's a certain amount of torque you got to put down on that yoke.
Yeah.
But it could, maybe that's tight. It's hard to say.
Right. And I did check time and time again that it was in neutral. So
yeah. Well, probably be a good idea to run some fluid through it, though.
Yeah.
Through the transmission, anyways.
I've just got a lot of little things left to do on that. Like I've got to get radiator hoses hooked up. I mean, once I get radiator hoses hooked up and a little bit of coolant through it, I start it up and run it whenever I want. But I don't have the hoses hooked up right now, so I can only run it for a minute or two at a time,
Yeah.
So, and I did get them pretty tight, but I do need to go back under the car and make sure the torque converter bolts are tight. Now that it's spun around a few times, make sure that that's good. So last thing you want to do is start shearing off torque converter bolts.
Yes. Yeah. Did you Loctite them in, or did you just run them in?
I just ran them in.
We usually just put some blue Loctite on them.
Mm-hmm. Smoke Wrench Garage, you have a good night.
Yeah, good night.
I think Jed might come on in a little bit. I don't know. He said he might. but we'll see. I know Mark also said he might, but he's got internet problems.
Doesn't he
Whatever.
always?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know what the hell for internet he has, but
Yeah, I don't know.
well, there's Jed. He says he
There's
fell
Jed.
asleep.
You fell asleep? How'd you do that? It's not even 9:30. Well, it's 10:30 for you.
Yeah.
It's funny, we just decided to start. I just said something about Jed, and there he is.
It's like standing in a mirror and saying Candyman.
Hello.
Hi.
He looks pretty sexy, even though he just woke up.
Well, this is probably how I was asleep. I was watching a Jonathan video after I ate dinner, and I noticed I was getting kind of heavy, and I was like, "What the fuck?" And I know I woke up and my neck hurts.
Oh,
So here I am, everybody.
good morning. Good morning, Jed.
Yeah.
That's funny. Well, not funny that your neck hurts, but funny that you just woke up and here you are.
Yeah. And I got reading to do.
You got reading to do? Okay. Big truck stuff.
Yeah. I got to know how much antifreeze that thing holds.
10 gallons.
Yeah, that's what I was about ready to say. Probably 10 or 12 gallons.
It holds a lot, whatever it is. That's for sure.
Did you get it back together, Jed?
No, you had to wait to see the video.
Okay.
That's all I'm telling people. I've had a lot of people like, well, what happened? What happened? And I'm like, well, just wait for the video like everybody else. Luckily for all you fuckers, it's just tomorrow.
Yeah.
You didn't have to do anything but wait for the video. You didn't have to do any of the work.
Don't worry, you only got one more day to wait.
Was it miserable?
Huh?
Was it miserable?
Oh my God.
We'll wait for the video.
I was
We'll wait for the
shopping
video
for
to find out how
engines
miserable.
already.
What's that?
Oh, I was shopping for engines.
Shopping for engines.
Yeah, because we had issues.
Uh-oh.
I'm telling you just got to put Jezebel 505 in it.
No, wedges are weak. Wedges are small
Well, I'm
PP energy.
I'm pretty sure you don't want a Hemi ramp truck.
No, that's what I want. It's that or a Detroit diesel.
Now,
In my world, there's only one diesel engine, and that's a Detroit diesel 2-stroke.
Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong. There are ways that you can make it work. But, and just correct me if I'm wrong, but a second gen Hemi isn't really designed to be a pulling and towing thing.
I use it in pulling tractors.
Okay.
I don't know what I'm looking for in this book.
I think you need to take a second and finish waking up.
No. I don't do good at just, sitting still doing nothing. I kind of have a problem.
You always gotta just mess with something.
Yeah. Always got to be doing something. Just like right now.
Mm-hmm.
Cooling system. Why does it just say 20?
20
Okay.
quarts, 20 liters, 20.
Well, it's either quarts or gallons. This is
It says 20.
1961.
It says 20/6/2.0. That's all it says. Wait. No, am I looking at the wrong one? Okay. C800. 21.5. 5. 181. Why does it have... It's so confusing. So what, 21 quarts?
It's got to be more than that. It could be.
Yeah, it's
I don't know,
weird.
that's a big damn radiator on that thing.
It's huge. Yeah.
I would almost think it might be gallons.
I mean, the block is normal. The heads and the intake and the water pump hold more. And then you have that big radiator, which is big. Huh. Oh, it's weird. This book doesn't make a lot of sense because capacity, U.S. quarts less heater. Why wouldn't have, I don't know, it just doesn't make any sense. I knew I should have grabbed the other book. Where the hell did Ryan go?
I don't know. He disappeared.
I don't have it in me to run a live. I don't even have chat up.
How hard is it to diesel swap that thing?
I have no idea how hard it would be.
I'm back.
I know it'd be easiest to pick one of the available engines they would have used.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I hear a lot of 12 valve comment stuff. I don't know. The 12 valve is a great engine. It's not my cup of tea. I think there's better diesel engines to put in a truck like that.
Now, did they use the inline Detroits or the V series?
V series. There's not a whole lot of room under that. Right here, the L1000 series used 8 V71s.
Okay. All right.
Welcome back, Ryan.
Mm-hmm. You didn't have the reaction like last time this happened.
No, I'm reading.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm reading.
Reaction last time that happened was funny though. I went back and I watched it. I did it off screen and you're like, I'm not prepared to do this. Hi everybody.
Oh no, I said that. I am not prepared to lead a live. I don't even have chat open. I don't know what the chat's saying or nothing.
Nobody's talking.
Oh, well, that's lame.
Everybody's playing the quiet game.
Huh. Fine.
There's people in the chat, just nobody talking.
I'll stop looking at specs in a book, and I will be social.
You can do whatever you want. Me and Chris were just
Really?
talking about
whatever I want.
No.
You heard him right, Chris?
What's that?
Wait a minute now.
He said we can do whatever we want.
We can do whatever we want. Oh, Christ. That's a license to kill right there.
Yeah, huh? That's
anything you want, PG-13.
Oh, PG-13.
That's not that hard either. I don't know where your mind's going, but
you still see titties in PG-13.
I wasn't even the one this time. You guys give me so much shit about being the dirty one.
But anyways, before you joined, me and Chris were talking about rebuilding the front suspension on B bodies. We were talking about lower control arm bushings.
Yeah, they're fun.
And how I probably should be doing them on the Super B.
I highly recommend it if you have a Mopar and you have never changed the lower control arm bushings in your Mopar. That should be the very first thing you do to that car if you've never done it. Because one, you need to learn how to do it, and two, you don't realize how important those things are.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that the lower control arm bushings in that car are the originals.
That means they're not there.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't be like me and just pretend like they're still there. Because when I took Jezebel's apart and replaced them, I was surprised I wasn't dead. Because they did not exist. Not changing those out is kind of negligent and unsafe. It's not fun either. It's a serious pain in the ass.
Well,
Yeah, we already went over this.
I have an extra set, so I could go through, rebuild, paint up, and put stiffening plates into a set before I go taking the car apart. Then when I take it apart, I can just plop new ones on.
I always just buy new upper control arms because I don't want to change those.
Yeah, I have new upper control arms for the car.
I kind of wish someone would invent something that would be better and easier than that setup. Just
The upper control arm setup?
no, the lower. You know,
I was about to say
keep
the
it
uppers are
same,
simple.
but find a better bushing.
That's just so much stress on that lower control arm.
Yeah.
I mean, even with the radius rod on there, it's a real shitty deal because you only have that one attaching point.
You know, those radius rods are actually welded solid in the Barracuda.
Oh, really?
But I tell you what, that is the straightest driving car I have ever sat in.
That's because everything's held in place.
Yeah, nothing's moving.
There's nothing to move.
That's because it's forced to go straight.
Yeah. I was kind of shocked when I first drove it and it went. Phew. I was like, oh shit, take your hands off the wheel and it doesn't torque steer. Of course, I didn't really get on it when my hands weren't off the wheel. I'm too scared.
It sounded a little bit scary.
It definitely didn't pull. Like every other car I have has a slight little pull to it, except for Jezebel because they're all new.
Mm-hmm.
Wonder if they made their own solid control arm bushings.
I don't know. I didn't look at it that close. Wouldn't surprise me. I got everything solid in the back on the leaf springs. I was going to make my own solid bushings for the front eyelets. But I weighed out the cost versus buying the chunk of aluminum to machine it versus just buying the done ones. And it's like, it's cheaper just to buy the done ones than for me to do all that work.
Isn't that the shit? Yeah. Isn't that crazy? And you got the mill to do it.
Yeah. Oh, lathe. Working on a mill.
Yeah. That's insane. Yeah.
It's a good tool to have.
It is. I don't know how I survive without it, and I don't know how anybody does survive without a lathe. Just so fucking handy.
And still nobody in chat.
Yeah, everybody's quiet. It's quiet.
Very quiet.
You missed it. In the very beginning of my life, my mom was in chat, and I was like, what the heck?
Your mom?
Yeah.
Was that awkward for you?
Well, it was just because like she says she watches some of my videos, but she's never been on a lot. She's never watched any of my lives. She's never commented on a video. She just never has. And she was in the chat and I was like, Mom, what are you doing?
Would she be ashamed of some of the stuff you write about in our Discord?
What?
I take that as a yes.
I didn't hear you.
Good.
Okay.
Because the things you write in our Discord, I would be ashamed of too.
No, that's you.
No, it's you.
No, you're the dirty mind one of the group.
You cannot blame me for your actions. I did not force you to type things. Like you choosing to drink 5 gallons of hot dog water.
Oh,
What?
No.
What?
I gave him the option of drinking a cup of his own, we'll call it protein. We'll just call it his own protein. Or a gallon of hot dog water.
Oh God. Is it cold hot water? Cold hot dog water?
I think I
He
said
said-
day old hot dog water.
He said
Because
day
if it's
old.
cold,
so
it'll have that layer of greasy shit on top. So.
Ooh.
Oh,
that's
I'm
just
still,
disturbing.
I'm still stuck on the protein thing.
I was sitting there thinking to myself, those both are pretty awful.
Yeah.
Because one, it's just a cup, just a cup. And the other one's like a whole fucking gallon. And it's like, ooh.
You can always make them eat a hot dog off the wheel of death.
Ooh.
You got to go in at like midnight or 2 a.m. That way you know the thing's been sitting there spinning around for at least freaking 24 hours.
That's a nice carburetor you got there in the background, Ryan.
Yep. That's my 750 HP.
Yeah. I got a couple carburetors.
I gotta order a rebuild kit for that. I got the rebuild kit for my 850. I gotta put that together because I gotta put that on the Super Bee because I need to give Mark his 750 back.
You can start just buying gaskets in bulk instead of rebuild kits.
Just need a what?
Order a bunch of gaskets in bulk. Order about 100 float bolt gaskets, order 100 metering block gaskets, and then 100 of each.
And base plate gaskets.
I got a big box full of just gaskets.
I've got a bunch of bowl gaskets and block gaskets and all that. I just don't have base gaskets.
I guess I've just done enough carburetors. I don't typically ever have to order a kit. I just typically do because I forget.
I got a bunch of gaskets. It's just for that one, I'm going to go through and put the new base plate gaskets in it because it doesn't have any.
Oh, I'll grab my other book.
All right.
Mm.
Oh, hi. This isn't the one that interrupts my life. Usually it's the other one.
Oh, that's the quiet one.
Uh-huh. He's the old guy.
Oh. He just wants to chill.
Okay, I'm back.
Welcome back, Jed. I got a cat.
Yeah. Oh, I have book.
Brian's getting a little
Cat
pussy.
is
Oh,
Pussy cat, that is.
I didn't say it.
I couldn't help myself.
I didn't say it.
now he just won't stop staring at the camera. You made him feel weird. Hi, buddy.
It's like he knows we're making fun of him.
Probably. No. Don't go on the desk. No.
I wouldn't
Get
make
down.
fun of Ryan.
No, you're not talking about me. You're talking about the cat.
I wouldn't make fun of the cat either. I make fun of you long before I made fun of the cat.
Cat's a good cat. He's not so
look.
cat.
It's got what horn it has. Ah, cooling system. Ah, there we go. Okay. This is not helpful either.
Yeah.
This book says 25 quarts.
25 quarts.
Yeah, why does one book say 21 and a half? The other one says 25.
So split the difference. Go 23. It'll either be a little bit overfilled or a little bit underfilled.
I guess I'm just going to take a shitload of coolant out there.
Yeah.
And then watch it mix in with the oil probably. Because the actual oil filter and oil pump are actually water cooled on that engine.
Ooh.
Really?
That
Yeah.
sounds risky.
That's interesting.
It's got a special oil pump cover that is only on trucks. And it's got two big filters that have a water jacket that flow through them to cool them. There's a lot of stuff on these big Dodge trucks that are not. Engine is basically the same, but it's also way better built. It's like they don't use a timing chain; they use a gear drive.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's two big gears, a little gear on the crank and a big gear on the cam, and the cam actually spins backwards of normal.
Yeah, you were saying that in your one video.
Yeah, and then they correct that with the distributor. So it's not as easy as, well, I'm just going to take a motorhome 440 and replace it. Well, actually, you're going backwards by doing that because that engine won't run as good as the engine that came out of it. Nifty. I need section 10. Let's see if I find the picture of the gear drive setup. It's in the book.
No, and I don't know if this is true for the 360 ones, but I read somewhere that on some of those truck engines, the crank is built for 8 bolt holes like a Hemi.
They are. Everything on the trucks is extra heavy duty. Yeah, there's the picture of the front of the engine. Along with the crazy oil pump setup. I'll find the exploded view of the oil pump. And they change shit a lot on these things from year to year. Like this book covers model serial number 100,000 to like 150. and then they changed a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
So like the distributor drive and governor it's on this engine won't be the same as the one on a later one.
Well, that's interesting.
No,
What kind of transmission's in that jet? Is that a Spicer in that, or?
I don't know which transmission. There's a million options of transmissions that went behind these. I know it's a 5-speed, then it's a 2-speed rear end. I don't know what the actual transmission is.
They don't have a tag or anything on the dash or anything for shift patterns. Sometimes they put them in.
The only thing I've found on the dash is how to operate the 2-speed rear end. Normally, yeah, there is something on the dash that shows you your transmission, but this one doesn't.
It means you got to crawl underneath it and scrape around for tags.
I'm more focused on getting it running and making sure it runs cool.
Yeah. That's got a hydraulic clutch in it too, doesn't it?
Yeah. What you use is just it's a modified single pot master cylinder.
Yeah.
That goes to a slave cylinder. I got to get me a new one of those in case that one's not good. Yeah, my video for tomorrow almost didn't have a fun ending. It almost ended on a sad note.
Oh, no.
My determination wouldn't let me lose.
Your never give up attitude.
I was out there putting the engine back together for the last time in the rain and the cold. Ah, there he is.
Howdy, guys.
There you are.
Mark.
What's up?
Hey, you have
Did you
internet.
fix your internet?
Yeah. The other night I tried to hop on. I think it was, I forget whose it was, but I just kept freezing. So it gets frustrating.
Well, you're good here now.
I actually just got off the phone. I was talking to Rick Jerry.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we were bullshitting for a while.
Nice. We're talking
We're
about
trying to get a bunch of guys together to go to that track that they go to. Sounds like Jeff from Two Hacks can make it there. It is,
Nope. So much for that.
Oh, he froze. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
It was going so well.
It was. Is he back?
Is
No,
it
he
now?
still froze.
Oh, I hear you.
Nope. He's moving. He's waving.
Oh, he's waving. There
But
he
you guys
is.
can't
All
hear
right.
me?
Jed.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
No, that's
We
better.
can hear you. We just don't see him move.
It looks like I'm not frozen.
No, you're like in super slow motion.
Oh, dang it! All right.
Uh-oh.
He's gone.
Huh, there it is. Okay. Just so I didn't have to
Still
lie.
here.
And of course, it's on a fucking centerfold. Oh, God, I can't see what I'm looking at. Yeah. It's somewhere on that page. Oh, God, wrong way. That one. Yeah.
Holy crapes. So that takes canister filters then.
Yeah, I got a couple of them on the stove. I hope I got the right ones.
Jed, did you see Scott's comment here?
No, I can't see any comments. I don't have.
Oh,
Yeah, somebody just said in chat that they have an industrial 361.
Oh,
in a L700. Has
I
an
could use
Allison
parts.
trans and a 2-speed rear.
I could use parts.
Be nice to get a hold of that Allison.
Yeah, actually, one of the engines I found was a 6V71 for $2,000,
Mm-hmm.
and it had an automatic Allison transmission attached to it for that price.
Hey,
Oh, wow.
Brian.
Yeah, I was real tempted. Okay, there's chat. Now I can read chat.
Brian, you on
Be
break?
nice to have an Allison in it. Then you don't have to worry about shifting the damn thing.
But that would make my my drag racing pass a whole lot less more fun. Ooh.
Trying to power shift.
Yeah. You're in the bathroom at work watching my live. That's something.
He's always in the bathroom watching your live, it seems.
Well, you seen Ryan's face?
I'm not going to say anything.
Ryan, you can never grow facial hair. Okay, you just gotta stay super baby face for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Ryan, you'll be 55 years old someday and you'll still look exactly the same.
What, 12?
Oh, he had that picture of
jeez.
one of those last lives, and it was him when he was like 6 years old, and I couldn't tell he'd aged a day.
You look the same.
Yeah.
Different glasses, just same guy.
I mean,
I didn't have glasses then.
he hasn't made any of the bad choices we've made.
I don't know how I feel about Brian's comment.
You all weirded out by that?
It's a little weird
What, he's in the bathroom?
that he's watching my live with his pants down.
Well, don't think about him with his pants down, you sicko.
Not like that.
Why are you thinking about Brian with his pants down?
Hell, he may
Brian
not
said-
even be looking at you. He might be looking at Jed or me. I mean, who the hell knows?
He's looking at Jed. He's known Jed the longest, I think.
Yeah, but you're the cutest, Brian. But I guess it also depends on, what he's after, I guess.
I have a skullet, so he might be turned on by that.
Brian says he'll be 55 someday, which is in 5 years, he says. Oh, my cat is coming back. What are you doing?
I knew that was going to happen. Shit. Never update your marketplace ad while you're half asleep.
Just
Why?
screw it all up.
Apparently. I got tired of telling people prices for stuff, so I finally just listed all the prices, which I should have done in the first place. Problem is, people on Marketplace want me to give them stuff, and that's not happening. I know what these parts are worth.
Yeah.
So if you want the stuff, you got to pay for it. It's not free.
Is Mark back? Let's see Bigfoot. But no Mark.
Jed, Brian's asking when you're getting that 340 together.
What 340? My 340?
Yeah, Brian said, Jed, when are we getting that 340 together?
I guess as soon as Tall John and I pick a day. Tall John and I've talked twice, and we haven't really talked today exactly. He's just race schedule and everything else. Okay. They have message requests apparently. Nope.
Yeah, I get those sometimes.
Yeah, I blow them off. Typically.
I got the most random messages on Instagram yesterday through my account related to the YouTube stuff. And they're like, I saw your channel and thought it was cool. And I'm like, oh, well, that's cool. Sure, thanks. And they're like, yeah, we can, we're a YouTube subscriber service. You pay us and we'll get you 1 million subscribers. And I'm like, get lost. Yeah, right.
Yeah, I got one of those messages too.
Am I back?
Yes.
You're back now,
Third time.
and you're
Third time.
moving.
Yeah. So Ryan's going to subscribe to some secret service and get 1 million subs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some guy reached out. He's
Called
like,
OnlyFans.
no. He's like, I'll run. He's like, I'll run ads and it'll get you tons of subscribers and stuff, and it's gonna grow your channel, and you just have to pay me to do it. And I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do that.
Did they speak English? Oh no, they were
I
typing,
forgot
so they
his
probably
name,
had
but he had a heck of a name.
a heck of a name.
He had a heck of
But
a
it
name.
sounds Chinese.
Forhad Ahmed.
Oh
Nice.
God.
Well, hopefully you gave him your credit card number just in case.
No, social security number. He said he could take it out of my retirement savings.
Yeah.
Just send them your fingerprints too.
No. Ooh, Tall John at 8. That would be fun. I really want to talk to him.
He's fun.
Yeah, I really want to talk to him about a lot of things.
Problem is, you need to have a sense of humor like mine to really hit it off with Tall John. You got to have a really dirty sense of humor. You can sit there and talk with him, statistics and all that super secret tuning stuff for like hours. But when you can just randomly spout a dick joke, you and him will wait. Wait.
Well, that's why I'm on the Discord to learn this language that you guys speak.
Yeah.
Oh, he keeps changing my name.
I'm not changing your name.
I'm not changing it to the things that you're changing it to.
Well, I'm not changing it to man who drinks hot dog water or sphincter boy. Or,
Yeah, that's what he's changing my name to.
At least with Discord, if my wife's like, "What are you doing? Are you looking at porn?" and I'm like, "Gay porn." It's Discord. What?
Yeah.
Brian said you need a neck brace after a day of talking to Tall John.
Yeah, it's about right. It's kind of like this. Yeah, I literally just get used to doing this for a whole weekend.
Well, if you stand 5 feet away, you don't have to do that.
No, you still got to look up.
I don't
You
have
still
to
got to
look
look up.
I don't have to look up as far as Brian does.
I'd like to see Marty get caressed by Tall John.
Just use Marty as an armrest.
Marty's so cute and short.
Well, you have to be small to fit in those third gens, you know.
Yeah. 84 almost burned up on him, spraying gas all over.
I saw a Facebook post about 5 miles per gallon. I figured that's what they got anyways.
He sent me a picture the other day and says he drove across the river and came back and was already at half a tank. And he goes, I just filled it up. I'm like, what the hell's going on? And I guess the steel line has a hole in it. And it was spraying fuel out all over the exhaust and the starter.
Oh,
Yeah, that's not.
No. So he parked it. And then, of course, he backs it. His driveway's on a hill, so he backed it up the hill. Well, then all the gas is running out of it.
ooh.
Yeah.
So I posted on Facebook. I said, well, just weld the line up.
I saw that. I saw that, and I was like, "Wait, what?"
So why don't you just
Brian
weld
says
it?
we need to get- Brian says we need 2 hacks, Jeff to take a picture with Tall John.
That would be comical.
That would. Speaking of mile per gallon, like you just mentioned, 5 miles per gallon. I was talking to a friend of mine today about the potential of if I was to get that trail duster that I'm looking at. And I said, I'd be happy if I get, 10, maybe 11 miles per gallon with that thing with the full-time 4-wheel drive. And he said, yeah, you'd be lucky to get 5. And I'm like, it's
He's
not
wrong.
that bad.
I'd say 8.
You know what Tall John's getting out of
I wonder how much-
Bananarama?
I know he said
Oh,
he's getting like
John.
16 or something.
16 or 17 out of that stock 440 in that Dodge truck.
Yeah.
Jeez.
All in timing and carburetor tuning. And I don't think he's really done a whole lot with that Street Demon.
That's a 2-wheel drive, though, isn't it?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
You can do that. If you can get, he said he's planning on getting up to 20. And so if you can do that with a 2-wheel drive, a 4-wheel drive won't be far behind.
Well, and I think I could probably get a little bit better mile per gallon out of a 400 than a 440,
Potentially.
potentially.
All
I'd put
right.
some lockouts on that thing.
If I
Yeah.
get that trail duster, I'm going to be excited about that.
That's probably got an
Mark,
old 203 transfer case in it.
Mark, I'm sorry, but your truck's probably going to get like 9 miles per gallon with the 440 at best.
I don't care.
Yeah,
It's not about miles per gallon. It's about miles per gallon.
you
I
know
don't
what?
even-
You
Well,
know
just
what?
from years of driving a pickup truck, I don't even look to see how much gas I put in my truck. I just put it in and then leave. I'm like, no need. I don't need that stress in my life.
It's a truck. It doesn't matter. It's going to be a pig. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. So,
Mark, I think it'd be funny. I think it'd be funny if I get that trail duster to park it right next to your truck and see the massive size difference.
as far as length, yeah. Otherwise,
Yeah.
half would be about the same. But
Well, because I was looking at the overall size,
Uh-huh.
a trail duster or a Ram Charger, they're the same thing basically, is 8 inches shorter than a regular cab short bed. So yours is an extended cab long bed. So your
It's a-
truck's like 3
well, it's
feet
a club
longer
cab,
than that.
so it's not,
Yeah, club
but it is a
cab, yeah.
long bed.
Yeah.
I'll never own a short bed truck ever again after this Chevy. You can't do shit with them. You can't haul stuff. You can't. I was thinking if I take it to No Name Nationals again, even if I got a topper and put on the back of it to sleep in, it's like
Yeah.
I'd almost have to put the cot diagonally in the bed of the truck.
Oh, good thing you're not tall.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's
Way to
not
rub
a
it
mean.
in, Ryan.
That's not a mean. I didn't mean it like that.
I don't care. I'm 2 inches
Look
taller
at
than
him.
my wife.
Look how sad he looks. Look what you did to poor Mark.
Yeah. Like I said, my wife wears high heels. We're the same height. This is all I need.
So do you wear yours when she wears hers?
No, I don't wear high heels.
You just wearing your drag racing, right?
No, my car's too fast. They wouldn't let me wear. I think anything under like a 6'9", you can wear high heels, but
Oh. Well, it's time to have a slower car.
Although I saw those traction bars going on that Firebird, that thing's going to be running 10s pretty soon, huh?
It'll look like it's running 10s. That's about it.
Those are some nice traction bars, though. I like them.
Yeah, that's a pretty good score.
Mm-hmm.
I've been looking a long time.
Yeah.
I could take those bolt-on ones off and put those other ones on.
Mhm.
So,
I always like the bolt-on like Lakewood ladder bar things too. I always thought those looked cool on the car.
yeah, I have a set of ladder bars for the Chevelle upstairs. I used to run the ladder bars on it, and I took them off. I've been thinking about putting them back on.
Is there a way you can like was it because they bind up on the road, or why did you take them off?
I took them off because I went to a rear sway bar.
Mhm.
I never really had any problems with them. I mean,
Yeah.
they do bind up a little bit, like in tight corners. If you gun it, it'll just come right around on you because the suspension doesn't give like it should. It kind of locks it. So doing donuts is pretty easy.
Yeah.
But I've never really had much trouble with it. Guys say they ride rough and stuff, and I never thought they did. I never
It's
had any wheel hop with them.
Definitely time to street freak the Chevelle, though.
Street freak the Chevelle.
Freaking-
I've been thinking about it. Trust me.
Need some
That would be
Kragers.
so freaking cool. Yeah.
I've been looking for an L88 hood for it
Yeah.
because I want to put an L88 hood on it,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
and then
need
I'll
to
probably
find
stuff the ladder bars back on it and put a set of Kragers or slots or something on it. Doesn't need much.
Maybe I'll
Side pipes.
find a
Side pipes.
Find a set of Kragers at Indy
Probably
for the
not.
front of the Super Q.
It's
Yeah,
Ryan. You remember those gold Morosos?
Yeah,
Yeah. When that one guy
Bottom.
commented and said he was a big fan of mine, I thought he was the seller, and he said, "No, I'm not. I'm just a fan of yours."
yeah.
The actual seller messaged me. He is a fan of mine. And they're bought.
geez.
You're not getting them.
Do you guys
And you
follow?
bought 'em?
Do you guys follow Sean Fat Tire guy Thomas?
Yeah, yeah.
I see him
Oh
on
my God.
Instagram and stuff. Yeah,
I love everything that guy builds. He's like my spirit guide, I think, when it comes to cars. Although I don't think I would have done 14-inch slots. I would like to have done slots, but I'm still sort of a 15-inch guy.
I think those. I like his car, the Roadrunner, but it's like the wheels or the tires are too short. They look kind of goofy to me a little bit.
that's my only complaint on that car is the back tires are a little too short, and I'm like, they just don't really fill it up.
Yeah, they kind of fall short of filling the wheel well, but it's a pretty cool car though.
Everything else about it. And then also, who puts a Pontiac tack on their cars? That's just.
I cut another really nice hole in a 70 Charger hood for that.
old Jed 2 tacks.
Yeah. Well, actually, mine's not even a Pontiac tack. Mine's an old Dixco RTX. So,
Okay. All right.
but they look like the Pontiac ones.
I wanted one of those so bad for my 70 GTO when I had it. I just never got around to doing it. But
Kind of pricey.
yeah, such a cool thing. Your tax out there on your hood like that.
It is pretty nice to have, but the repos suck because the orange red line on mine is actually white now. It faded out, and the car just sits in the garage and doesn't even get direct sunlight. But and actually from the bulbs being like when I'm driving it around, the lights are on it all the time to keep it from fogging up. It actually started to melt the case and divot it.
Oh,
Yeah. I was like, what the hell? What a piece of shit. I mean, it works all right, but
they're kind of pricey
curious.
too.
yeah. Because Marty actually bought that for me. I said something about putting a hood tack on. He come over one day and hands me a hood tack.
Yeah, that's
And
cool.
he was pretty disappointed in the quality of things on it, especially after I started showing him some of the stuff. And then one night I was coming home, and I was doing like the speedometer's 5 off, and I was running probably about 60, 65, and the tax only reading like $2,000, and it's like, that ain't right. It gets hot, I guess, because I was driving it around all night, and because we were at a cruise, so we were cruising around all night, and I guess from the lights being on, I guess it just something went funky in the tack, and it just quit reading right, and then it came back. So I don't know.
I'll be curious to see if the tack in the Super Bee works, but it's an original, so it's probably not accurate.
That's one of the things I don't like about my truck is the guy on that one side panel cut a hole to put a tack in there. And
Oh,
tack,
yeah.
and I'm like, I'm going to go around to look for another plastic piece to put there. So, you don't need a tack in a truck when you're shifting.
Well, that's where they put them on the Little Red Express trucks and stuff.
They did
When
put them over.
they put them in that little spot right there.
What
When
are
the tack
the
was
locks?
I don't like white-faced gauges either.
I don't
Oh, I
either.
hate white-faced gauges. I hate white-faced gauges. That is just ugly. Tom has them in his car, but
I don't remember who,
it's
but
not
somebody
bad.
told me to put white face gauges in the 71 Roadrunner, and I'm like, no.
No.
I only do black background.
Yeah.
I don't like two-tone seats,
I don't mind two-tone seats. Just got to be right.
Yeah.
Yeah, two-tone seats aren't bad. It depends on the pattern.
Yeah.
Like a cloth and vinyl, it isn't too bad.
I'll be swapping
Like-
seats in the 69 Roadrunner this spring when it warms up a little bit. I got a set of real nice bucket seats in it, or not that are in it, that are for it. And they're original seats, but somebody recovered them. They're like the black vinyl on like the sides and the back, but the actual like seat part and actual back, like where your backrest is cloth diamond stitch. So
That'd be kind of cool.
breathe better than the vinyl until I find actual like correct seat covers for it. It'll work good.
I always liked
That's
when
kind of-
like car interiors had kind of like the stuff, and especially like your 50s and early 60s cars,
That's how I'm going to recover the interior in the truck. It's all going to be that same diamond pattern material we're going to use for Dad's van.
Okay. Yeah.
I just need to pressure wash that truck and see what shade of colors it is, because it's a lot of different colors.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Well, it started out originally red, then it was painted yellow, and now it's this. It's almost the same color as my Dart, that kind of gold green color.
The grenade color.
Yeah, and yellow is showing through, and so is red. So
I don't know how much of that green is going to live after the pressure wash.
I'm kind of hoping the yellow doesn't show through.
I hate yellow.
I don't like it much either.
That butterscotch yellow, not butterscotch, but the Chevy butternut yellow is about the only yellow I can paint, and I don't like it.
Yeah, I'm not a yellow guy either.
The worst yellow I think there is, and it's yellow with a little bit of green in it, is that 1971 Curious Yellow. Oh, I hate that color.
Oh, yeah.
I don't like most high impact colors for Chryslers.
Yeah.
Most of them are just
Purple,
too
Hemi
showy for
orange.
me.
I like purple and Hemi orange.
I don't. I don't really like any of the high impact colors. I like the more mundane earth tone colors.
I don't mind
But do you
orange.
like B5 blue?
I know B5 blue is technically a high impact color, but I don't really consider it that.
I don't mind orange, but every Roadrunner is orange. You know, it's like, oh man. And how many have been converted to orange because that's what they saw on someone else's Roadrunner, so they painted theirs orange.
I'm offended.
And you can't paint a Charger orange without making it a General Lee. You know.
I'm offended that you called out the Roadrunner because it's orange.
Well, I told you if I would have bought that car, it was getting painted
Yeah, I know.
and mini tubbed and full bar and
You don't need mini tubs on that. They got a big enough wheel opening from the factory.
I'd had to move the springs and board to run those tires that we mocked up on it. It looked good with those on there though, didn't it?
Yeah.
With the old 295 65 drag radials on 15x10s.
That looked good.
When we put them on the Belvedere, that'll be like the 6th car that those wheels and tires have been on. And they've never been driven. Nobody's ever driven on them.
Jeez.
I bought those back when I had that green 71 Satellite Sebring Plus. And then I got rid of that car, and then they just sat forever. Then I mocked them on the Satellite. They were on my Coronet. They were on Ryan's Coronet, and then they were on that Roadrunner.
They were never on the 69.
I thought you had it on one side, didn't you?
No, I don't think so. That's the look.
Yeah, that's a nice look.
I just don't like how it's kind of square in the front, which makes it look like there's a gap, you know? Rather than this conforms to the curve of the tire a little better.
Yeah.
Why does your rear end look like it's so kicked so far back?
It's just the angle of it.
Yeah, I was about ready to say it doesn't look centered in the wheel well.
Well, it won't be centered. It'll be favoring the front edge.
Yeah.
Will it?
Yeah. Typically, they favor the
Like-
front edge.
On the passenger side, my slick on the jack pine was rubbing there, cutting a groove in the tire. So Jeff just drilled a new hole in the perch about less than 1/4 of an inch forward, and then welded up the old hole, and that set it back perfect in the wheel well.
Oh, that's called a hammer for me.
Yeah, most people splice the quarter panel, you know, and like fix it, but I'm like, I didn't want to try to color match that because it was a custom mix. But yeah, the 69 Super B's got the hips for about any tire you want.
Yeah, Tom's got, what the hell's he got on? He's got the 8-inch Steelies, and he's got 2 75/60s on that.
Yeah, and he's got room to spare.
Yeah. And I told him he should have probably went to 10-inch, but it looks good with the 8s on it.
No. No, his
Need to
car looks
find
good.
some 15x10 steel wheels. That's what I want to put on my Duster. I keep looking at wheels, and I don't think I'd like Kragers on it. I don't think I'd like slots on it. I definitely wouldn't like center lines. I hate those stupid Pro Star looking wheels on it. I just want to put steel wheels on it, but I want 1510s.
Those are my wheels, the back ones there. Those are 15x10, 5.5-inch backspace.
Yeah, see, I need like 2 inches of back spacing.
You can get custom steel wheels with custom backspace. There's a guy here that'll do it, right? Ryan, you guys know a guy that'll do it too, don't you?
Sheridan, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, this just, it almost fit.
That's a good look.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
It was
that.
rubbing the leaf spring. It was rubbing the leaf springs just a little bit.
So a little wide.
And going over a bump in the quarter whip.
That's why you shave the lip or
Better
roll
than
it.
what was on it. No.
You beat the lip with a hammer, and you notch the leaf spring. You just take a grinder and
Yeah.
find where it's hitting it.
Some guys did that, but I kind of
Better
I've
than
heard guys do
14
kind of grind the
that
lip
were
down
on
the
it.
leaf. stick a baseball bat in there, and then you roll the car forward.
Oh, hell no. That's the proper way. You just get in there with the mallet and start pounding on it and get the old grinder out and grind the freaking leaf spring so it's notched.
Yeah.
And hope you hit the quarter in the right place.
Yeah. Well, you consume a lot of beer and then it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
That's the same that's the same Super Bee that has the secret bottle opener on the heater box under the dash. That's the best thing about that car. That's the best option. When I'm sitting there looking at Ryan's car and I'm like, what the hell? And Ryan's like, what? I'm like, is that what I think it is? Ryan didn't even know what it was. And I'm like, that's a bottle opener. How sneaky.
So you had
bottle openers.
You had Alkies owned your car. And
that car's partied.
Alkies owned his car. And Dopers owned mine.
Yeah.
I found freaking rolling papers under the carpet.
I'll take that over the shit I'll take that over the shit I've found in my 73.
Yeah. Does it
What'd
rhyme
you
with
find in that?
Best
Did you find
best
meth
thing
in
I
it?
found in a car.
I've never found actual drugs in my car, but I know the guys we bought it from were huge meth heads.
Yeah.
Huge.
Best thing I found in a car was an old $20 bill
Well, back when
I
you
found
from the 60s.
back when you could get 6-packs with the plastic holders, you'd put the one of the empty rings over your shifter. That way they didn't roll too far away while you're driving. You know, you always at least could find the beer down by your foot.
The only problem is when the cop rolls up on you, you can't get it off the shifter fast enough
Yeah.
to jam it under the seat.
Kind of cool thing about this Trail Duster I'm thinking I might be getting. It has a center console between the bucket seats in the front, and it has a built-in cooler.
Wow. No.
Came from the factory with a cooler in the center console.
70s were awesome.
I'm like, how cool is that?
What are you gonna put in there? Fucking grape Kool-Aid? You ain't old enough to drink.
I'm not gonna use it for anything. I just think it's cool.
He's gonna put his
come on,
Capri
Ryan.
Suns in there.
Brian says 295 50s will fit under a 71. Right? Yeah, you can fit a whole lot more tire than that under a 71. I fit
got-
my 315 60 15s under a 71 Satellite.
I know if I
Barely.
had a slightly narrower rear end in my 73, the 295s, it'd clear no problem. I just don't like a 295 50 tire. I think it's too short.
It does. Look
Yeah, they look. It's not like a bias ply that has a taller sidewall.
Yeah, it's
It
too
does-
short of a sidewall for me. I don't like it.
In some applications, it's all right, and in some, it isn't. I guess it depends on the wheel width you use too. Hard to find
See,
tires that look right.
I don't like a tire shorter than 28-inch.
Same.
It's like the Jack Pine's got 29-inch tall tires in the back.
My go-to for everything is a 275 60 15. It basically
Yeah.
starts there and you adjust from there.
And they fit in your. Those are too small for me.
A 275 60 15?
That's only 20. That's 28 inches tall.
Is it?
28 by, 28 by like 10, 10.5, depending on the brand.
Is that what you have on your Super Bee?
No, those are N50s.
Okay. Yeah, I love the N50s. You know,
Those
that's
are ProTrack. Yeah, those are ProTrack N50s.
Because I run a 27-inch tall tire on the Firebird and the Chevelle, actually.
the only problem about the N50s are their bias ply, which in the back you don't mind, but when you buy the bias ply tires for the front, it feels like you're driving around with beach balls on the front.
Yeah. Hey, there's Captain.
I
Yeah.
messed up bought the ones that had the bulge on the sides and the really skinny tread in the middle.
Yeah.
ProTrack makes two different front runners, and the one has the straighter sidewalls. That one would have been a better wheel. So next time around, I would have went with that. But it was hard finding any of those that were higher than 26-inch tall, and I didn't want to have a 26-inch tall tire in the front, in the back. That looks kind of goofy.
And all Mickey Thompson has is the front runners, and they're just rounded. They almost look like a sportsman. So
got tiny little radials on the front, and Jeff's got some actual like Moroso front drag tires. So we did some horse trading, so I'll be getting those and putting them on the Jack Pine when it comes out, so at least it'll look a little bit better.
I'm pretty happy with the Phoenix brand tires I put on the Barracuda.
Yeah.
I'll be getting a new pair of those for like the rears. I'm not buying Hoosiers or any of those other overpriced tires. I'll be buying Phoenixes.
I'm stuck with Hoosiers on the Jack Pine because nobody else makes a 29 that I can find.
I've had a couple people tell me the Phoenixes aren't worth a dang. I know my buddy Cody runs Phoenix tires on his 69 Fastback Barracuda, and that car's pretty quick, and it dead hooks, and he's never had an issue.
Yeah.
Well, the Phoenixes are the old Firestones, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what the Phoenixes are. Did you ever check out American Racer?
Huh.
Yeah, they're the old McCleary tires, and they're mostly dirt track stuff. But I know a lot of guys that run them on the street. They got real soft compounds and stuff. But they're mostly bias plies, but they come in a pretty good variety of sizes and different treads and stuff. But it's they're called American Racer.
Huh.
But they used to be the old. You ever hear of McCreary's from back in the day?
Yeah,
I'm only 30, Chris.
No, that's right. Mark probably remembers McCreary's. Yeah. That's what became of them. They became American Racer, Mark. And they do a lot of dirt track stuff, but they have all kinds of different compounds and everything.
White cats. Yeah.
So might be something to look into. I don't know. See, I don't know if their tires are wrinkle wall. Because I mean, you don't need a dot tire, so I mean, you could probably run pretty much anything. But they might be something to look into. You could even contact them and see what they got.
M&H had some interesting like tire sizes and stuff too, and that's kind of a cool tire. So I've looked on their radials and stuff.
I wish they weren't so fucking overpriced.
Yeah, that's the downside.
They are the most expensive tires.
M&H, yeah.
Yeah. They look cool as shit, but they're really expensive.
I thought to do that to my Jed, my cat would just leave. If I tried to mess with my cat like you are, he would just leave.
Oh, see, Cappy understands. I am Papa, and I am in control.
Look at these two guys playing with their pussies.
Yeah. There's
little unmanly.
I'm a cat person.
In each picture.
Always been a cat man. Never been into dogs. This is my little buddy.
No, I had a cat. He didn't have any teeth. Well, his teeth were gone.
We both got old orange and white cats. Well, not that old.
Mine was a tabby. Orange tabby.
Every time his head moves back, he's purring. This guy purrs very loud.
This guy doesn't care. He's just laying on me. I guess I'm here now.
Go play with guns. Play with guns. There's plenty in here to play with.
We got a little bit of metal welded onto your Firebird, Mark.
Good. It's about time, man. Need more updates.
There's one coming up tomorrow.
Cool.
I'll have one, a short one.
Problem is, you're going to dink around. You're going to get the car too nice, and then you're not going to hand it over.
Well, you know what the deal is. I show up at the No Names. I hand you the keys. You give me the keys to the rig, the trailer, the jack pine, and I go home. And we call it even.
Oh, even. Yeah.
Wait, when did a GM product get worth more than a Mopar?
A Mopar and a Mopar.
He wants my
and a
Firebird.
trailer.
It's not
I
a
told him
GM.
what the deal
It's a
is.
Pontiac.
Oh, it's because the Firebird's a 4-speed. So yeah, okay, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Or I bring a set of 323s with me and I swap the gears out in a jack pine and I drive it home.
Hey.
I'll just have to stop at AutoZone and get some of those cheesy freaking fog light things to jam in the holes where the headlight is supposed to be.
It's got LED front turn light. You have to work the turn signals with a toggle switch on the dash, though.
Well, I can handle that. I just need to see at night when I'm going home.
I think
So,
it's got LED tail lights too.
oh, LED tail lights.
Yeah, they're bright. They're
I don't think the torque converter would like going down the road.
yeah, it would overheat on you before you got out of Sykeston.
Well, then I have to bring it back for warranty work.
Yeah, it's got a little 8-inch converter. So
Little 8-inch converter. I know. I'm probably going to end up making the Firebird too nice.
the new radiator shows up on Saturday, according to the tracking. So
Oh, yeah. Cool.
Yeah. So I'll get the 22-inch
Nice.
one that's in there out, and I'll have the 26-inch one with 2 new fans and shroud.
Do you have an electric water pump on that, Mark, or no?
No, but it doesn't have a fan on it.
Okay.
It's a belt-driven water pump, but no fan.
I didn't know if you ran an electric pump on that or not. Had a motor on it.
Well, and that's why I didn't make as many passes at No Name, is because I had to cool down in between.
Yeah, I bought one of those Jegs cartridge electric water pumps, no belts or nothing, for the Barracuda. That was a good investment.
Does it seem like it works pretty good?
Oh, it moves water like a motherfucker. I wouldn't waste money on a Mazir or anything.
I'll be going that route with the Belvedere. I'm basically just following your engine recipe, Jed. 440 Edelbrock heads, 671 blower.
I mean, it doesn't look period correct, but
No.
it saves on having to worry about a belt and everything else.
Yeah.
You're
When
not
you
gonna
got
worry
that
about
big, when you got a 3-inch blower belt in the way, there's not a room for a lot of other shit right there.
Yeah.
You're not worried about going down the track and throwing belts.
With this engine, no.
How much compressions that thing have, Jed?
My 440.
Yeah, in the CUDA.
Factory, they rate them at like 8.2, but in reality, they're closer to 7.8.
And it still has that even with the aluminum heads on it.
Well, technically, it'd be less, even though I went to a slightly smaller combustion chamber. It would technically be less because the aluminum doesn't hold in the heat as much.
Yeah.
Well,
It
which
equals
Edelbrocks did you get, Jed?
I got
I have like 84cc combustion chamber.
I think I got the angle plug RPMs or something. It
Oh,
was
80
whatever
cc.
was. I literally just grabbed whatever was on the shelf and whatever was available.
Yeah.
I was not picky.
Yeah.
Or the 80
Because
cc.
I know like the trick flows are like 72 cc's, and but the Edelbrocks that I have on the jack pine are like 84 cc.
Yeah.
Yeah. A
I
lot of
like
them were
trick flow
80
stuff, but
cc's.
their trick flow stuff is so out of stock and down the road, and then I can't buy it from Jegs. So
If I if I didn't have this other car thing going, I would have got a brand new set of trick flows and put them on my engine. But like you said, if they were available.
Yeah, that's the biggest problem is you kind of get in a hurry to wait.
Well, Mopar Jeff always goes with the stealth heads, but he gets them from Modern Cylinder Head, and they flow like 340 or something like that after he's done with them. They're insane, and they're cheap, but just getting the guy to make them for you and getting them back, is kind of the hassle. But I would like to have gone that route because then you could paint it to look like just a regular 440 with a blower on it. Wouldn't see the ugly square. That's the worst part about aluminum heads is most of them have that ugly square finish.
Well, if I was going to spend money on like performance aluminum heads, like I'm building flat out race mode. It's all it's ever going to do, but I also want it to look right. There's only one head I'll go with, and that's the Indy-1.
Yeah. The Indy
There's
Biggies are pretty good. They flow about 400.
I mean, the Indy heads are just a copy of the old Zeekr heads. That's why they do so well.
Mm-hmm.
Indy doesn't really know what the hell they're doing.
At the Indy show, they don't discount their products, do they?
No. No. Don't even bother wasting time trying to get a deal in person. The new owners are really cool. They're way better than the old owners. But, yeah, there's no such thing as any kind of discounts. I got a buddy who's a dealer for Indy Cylinder Head, and I can get shit at cost if I can get a hold of him.
Yeah.
But that's the problem is getting a hold of him.
Because it sure would be nice. Everyone else is going to be faster this year at No Name. I'm pretty much going to be the same.
I'll be faster this year. Last year, I was only walking speed.
See, Mark, just pick your battle, okay? Just the people you want to race, just make sure they are definitely going to be slower.
No, I only race guys my speed or faster. Part of the reason
and you're going to get
all out with Jeff is because he mentioned he's doing a bunch of stuff to Larry T. Bird that's going to make it more racing. Otherwise, the weight difference, I wouldn't have bothered calling him out because it was more of a street freak build. Really cool looking car with the tunnel ramp sticking through the hood, and But it sounds like he's wanting to go more race. I think he's been flirting or like hinting at the idea of maybe putting nitrous on it. I'm not sure.
Well, that thing's a tank.
Yeah.
Right.
4,000 pounds. So I'm like, I feel guilty if we actually do race and it, But I got to wonder what that 521 makes, Fords flow a lot of air. The big block Fords have huge factory intake ports.
Well, that's also what hurts them.
Yeah.
They made their ports way too big.
Yeah. Gary had a 460 in his shop, and I'm looking at that, and I'm like, holy cow. Will that bolt on my engine?
Yeah, 351 Cleveland 4-barrel heads are freaking huge. They're monstrous. Now, if you go with a 2-barrel head, it's a lot better street engine because now you get some of the port velocity back. But the 4-barrel heads they're just massive.
But I don't know how to estimate Ford horsepower and stuff. So I was trying to tunnel ram, 521 cubic inches. I don't know if he ever said what size his cam was and stuff. So I was like, I'm sure he's got to be more horsepower than me. Just he's going to be slinging around, that much more weight.
Well, he's going to have a lot more torque too, just for the simple size of the engine.
And he's going down to 488 4 link. So, I mean, he's going to be winding it up pretty fast. So
that's why I believe in engine dynos.
Yeah.
There is no guessing.
Yeah.
And the tuning. The tuning is the biggest part.
Well, he's still got a lot of weight. You figure he's probably at least 600 foot-pounds of torque.
Yeah.
And he's going to need that to get that big monstrosity moving. You know,
I'm at 620 torque.
so you know, figure if he's around 650 horsepower wise, you guys might come out a little even. Considering you're probably 1,000 pounds lighter than him.
I'm
So,
30. I'm 3168, so I'm almost it's almost 1,200 pounds lighter.
yeah. So, you know, that's gonna play into it too. And if you can get the damn thing to hook up, you know, it's an awful lot of torque to be putting down. You know,
According to, and obviously this is under ideal conditions, but according to the horsepower track calculator thing, you know, which take it with a grain of salt, about 200 pounds of weight is equal to about 20 horsepower.
yeah.
So if you got 50
That's why I think it'd be a good race. I think it'd be a good
you got-
race.
yeah,
If
if
you
you
got
got
more power and I've got less weight, then I think it's going to be a good
Yeah.
race. That's why I talked to
'Cause
him
if-
about. We're going to
if-
talk
'cause
more
if
about
you're-
it.
yeah, because then 800 pounds would equal 100 horsepower, roughly. So, yeah, you would, according to that calculation, you would have an advantage because you'd be
Plus
about
it's a
1,200 pounds, about 1,200 pounds lighter, which would then be about 150 horsepower more,
Hmm.
which obviously you make up beyond more than that. So,
But then you get into that whole mine's a purpose built race car and his is a street car. So
right,
that's why I
like that's just under.
I never got a
ideal
chance to
perfect
run
conditions.
poor boy Brad. We talked about it, but every time he'd kind of ask me, I was waiting for my car to cool down. So I don't know if he thinks I was dodging him or what. But according to Joe's last video, we were running dead on the same times. So I don't know if he's going to make upgrades this year. I'm sure he probably will. Everyone is. But me and him would have been neck and neck at the same times. Brewer was the same time. So, I mean, those guys would be the guys in my like class as far as like who to call out at no names probably. But
And you're still learning how to drive that, and you're still dialing things in on it. So you might even be quicker this year than you were last year. You know,
Well, you'll
I'm
gain speed.
I'm definitely going to
Sure.
get some speed time. As soon as it's
Yeah.
warm enough, I'm going to be at Oak Grove. So, because Jeff has got his Duster ready this year,
Yeah,
that blue Duster. So
Mhm.
he last year it was the first year he didn't have a car to track to practice or even race, and he's the track record holder there at Oak Grove too. So, but yeah, he's been teaching me a lot. But it's hard.
thinking
It's
if
easy
the
to tell someone to do and then to learn how to do it. Because that's a lot of stuff going on. I mean, you know, like for someone who's never done it before, you're trying to pull into the burnout box, pull out far enough, you know, wait for the guy to give you a signal to do the burnout, you know, do your burnout, get a proper burnout without going past the line, you know, you can.
Yeah.
They don't want you to. And then the whole staging thing. And then you're going from like letting off of the, you know, the line lock and, you know, just all kinds of it, you know, it takes a while. I was just starting to kind of get comfortable, and then all of a sudden season's over. So
Yeah.
I was
Well,
happy to
okay.
have Daniel as my Daniel help back me up for that first pass, and that made that a lot less nerve wracking.
and you know what I mean, Jed, right? Like you even made your first. I made my first pass with my driver's side window down too.
Yeah, I totally forgot. I didn't even know my window was down. I didn't know I
I
was
think
driving with
that's-
my arm hanging out.
I think that's the rite of passage. You know, it's like because you got so much going on. You know, trying to do your burnout, you're trying to stage, you're trying to make sure you're in the right gear. You don't want to mess up. People are looking at you.
It's
Well,
going
the
to be
fact
hard
that
to
you
that's
just
keep the window
nerve-wracking.
down in the Barracuda because those windows are bolted solid.
Yeah,
it's
I'm
pretty
gonna
cool
try
you
to
made
do
it down
like
the
those
pass.
with the
You made it down the
seatbelt.
track. with your arm out the window while operating a 4-speed too.
Oh, you can do it. And a cigarette.
Yeah. If I could somehow do this with the helmet on,
Yeah.
yeah, I'd be doing it.
You only need these 2 fingers to steer, Ryan, when you're shifting with the other arm.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
your elbow can be perfectly out the window, barely holding onto the steering wheel, cigarette in your hand while you're shifting.
And you got a sippy cup on your head with your beer being plumbed right in your mouth.
Jesus.
No,
One of
Jake,
them
you
hard hats with
beer-
the two
you slam your beer in the burnout box.
Oh yeah, while you're doing the burnout.
While you're doing the burnout, you shotgun the beer.
I'm thinking if the Super Bee ends up being the car that goes to No Name, I'm thinking if that happens, I think we're going to need to have a Super Bee on Super Bee race.
You talk
Yeah,
about,
NSB.
oh, Dean's an assassin, dude. He'll kill you.
No.
Did you see that guy shift them gears? Dude. Dean's been down the track a few times.
Yeah, but I got an automatic. I just click.
Yeah. It sounds like that, Ryan. But you refuse to do a reverse manual valve body, and you're going to be doing it with a stock shifter.
Oh God.
Those
There's neutral. Boom.
Yeah.
Those stock
They had a
shifters
neutral.
and well, are you talking about a stock automatic shifter in your Super Bee?
He
Those are
refuses to do
garbage.
reverse manual, so he's going to be shifting toward neutral.
I absolutely hate that. That to me is one of the worst factory shifters. Is the factory console shifter in a 68 or 66 to 70 B body.
Yeah,
that shifter is so bad because there is no gates to it at all. No, we're talking about a console. I'd rather have a column shifter.
Column shifting's nice because it didn't take much to do that in the satellite. I would just use my little 2 fingers here, and I would just doop, and I never overshifted. But if you're holding on to that lever, you're gonna just jam it right into neutral.
Yeah, because you gotta real gently pick it up and go to the next gear without going too far. Because
that's why I
go
just
too far, you're right in the neutral.
I only just use those 2 fingers to shift. Cause otherwise, I'd use too much power and miss a gear.
Well, you don't.
Can you cut gates into a factory shifter?
Not easily. Luckily, you can click forward without having to push the button or anything. You can just, and I know it does take a certain touch to it. I understand that. And
it'd be real easy to
but
overshift.
Well, and I've been in the car, not with it running, but just run through the shifter in the car, and it does have a shift kit in it, and he's the guy that built the transmission said that it's going to have a little bit harder, a little bit more sure of a shift, and I can feel that when I go and actually just push on the lever. It's got more of a positive stop to it.
If you do the Super Bee, do you still want to swap out to that blue converter of mine?
No, if I bring Super Bee, it's just going like it is.
I think you'd be surprised how much better it'd be with that one.
Yeah, I just want to drive it on the street though.
That one you could drive on the street. It's not like my little 8-inch converter.
Your little 8-inch.
We put I had that race converter from Daniel for the Barracuda, little baby guy, and it was all full of metal. And I ended up finding a factory 3000 street stall. Came out of I think Jesse said a Dodge truck. They had 3000 stall converters factory. And he basically gave me that one that went in the Barracuda. I think it was perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll dial my engine when it ever gets done, and then we'll spec out a converter. And this time I am going to go with a Sprag. I went with a Spragless this time, and Jeff's like, "Oh man," because that's what gives it's like a rubber band that slings you off the line.
Mm.
And he has them on all of his, and he likes that. Whereas the reason I chose to go against it, because I don't know much and I hadn't raced before, is because I'm on a 9-inch slick, and I didn't want to overpower my tires right away off the line. So my converter kind of locks up toward the end of the track. So it's actually a better suited converter for the quarter mile than the 8th. And I could never get up to where I could flash. I should be getting my car up to at least 2,000 RPM when I launch. And with my 10-inch drums in the front, anything over close to 1,500, I was pushing through my drums. So when I get the new drive shaft in and the new U-joints, I'm going to be able to do the trans brake then. So it'll be fun to see how it launches at 2,500 RPM. And then let the converter work the way it was supposed to.
Yeah.
Is your transmission guy, Ryan? Why don't you have him set up the governor in that so that it shifts at a higher rate or higher RPM? You can change the governor springs in those transmissions.
Yeah, I haven't really thought about that.
Because then you don't even have to bother with the shifter if you get the shift point set right with the governor. You just throw it in D and slam it.
That's what they
was
did
never.
Mission.
The car was never intended to be raced, really. I mean, it was very much just fast street car that'll hit a track 2-3 times a year. So
yeah, but you could drive on the street with it. It's just that when you go wide open throttle, you'll just have higher shift points.
No, what he's talking about, Ryan, is you could just leave it in drive, and it's just going to hit its shift points when it.
Yeah, I'll be curious as to what it's set to right now. I don't know what he did when it comes to that.
Yeah. Because Jerry's never manually shift their car.
Yeah, and you, like Adam just said, you can adjust your kickdown linkage for that too.
I throw kickdown linkage away.
I don't know if I
still don't know how you get away with that.
I've been driving my satellite for, God, probably, I don't know how long. I just shift my car manually. I have never put it in drive. That's how you make those 727 survive, is you don't put it in drive. You put it in drive, and then it shifts, boom, boom, boom. And it goes right into drive. It shifts all through all those gears, and that's what will destroy them. And if you shift you won't have any issues.
They got really shitty shift points for some reason.
Yeah, I've never liked the kickdown. I don't like how messy it is. And I don't like how it adjusts. I don't like anything to do with that stuff. I just shift it my way, how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Well, they use a governor in those 727s, don't they?
I got no idea.
Sure. I'm not super familiar with them.
I'm pretty sure that they do. You can do governor modifications to them.
Probably.
I've got the scatter shield on my transmission, but that old guy Tom that I got my Belvedere from is like, he's like, if you don't have a trans blanket, I'll give you one. So anyway, I'm gonna go get a trans blanket if I'm gonna run the trans brake for sure.
Yeah, I got Daniel's old. It won't certify anymore, but his old Kevlar shield.
Yeah, well, that's what's on mine now.
Yeah,
but he said it's better to have the blanket, so I don't want to lose.
So I know, generally speaking, most people aren't really a big fan of Uncle Tony, and I'm not either. But just related to Transmit Quick, he just had a video come out that he had some person with like a 68 Polara or some sort of C body, whatever, come over that was having wiring problems, and he helped them fix it. And then it's got a 512 stroker with an automatic in it, which is kind of cool. And he's like, well, on your guys' way out, would you do a burnout for the camera or whatever? And they did one kind of little crappy one, and he's like, all right, I want to try doing one again. And he wound up and did it again, blew up the transmission, completely shattered the bell housing. I don't even know how he did that.
Chunk was driving it.
like bits of drum and bell housing scattered.
Uncle Tony was driving it.
Huh?
I said Uncle Tony was driving it, Ryan.
No, the owner. Thankfully, the owner.
Oh, the owner was.
The first rule is your car's going to show you its weakest spot.
Exactly.
Overbuild your engine and you didn't build anything else, you're screwed. You know.
Well, it's like a 4-door New Yorker is what it is, or Newport or something.
On car, trying to
some big monstrous C body.
Yeah.
Oh, the sprag let loose is what Raker's saying. I didn't watch the video. I saw the thumbnail, and I was going to click it, but I ended up falling asleep last night, and I never did.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just.
But it's definitely all about balance, man. You can't. It's not. Oh, I'm going to cut corners here, or I'm going to cut corners there, or this will be good enough.
Right.
You know, kind of like. That's why I'm saying, like with your Super B, boy, you throw that blue converter in there, let that engine do what it wants to do. You know, you're gonna be a lot happier with the performance than if you just put like the stock converter in there and wonder why everyone's leaving you in the dust.
Well, it's not stock converter. It's a 2600.
That's a stock converter.
No, stock's.
Man, you're gonna look like a putz when my stock 350 Pontiac wipes you.
It's a 28.
Sounds like a
It's
call
a
out.
2800. No, it's a 2800 converter. The stockers for a 383 is 2122.
Yeah,
So it's not anything big. It's not anything big, but it's a little smaller, and it's set to about 28, 29.
Hey, Chris, you notice how he just glossed over your call out?
Yeah, no, he just kind of ignored that whole thing.
That Pontiac
No,
Power's got him. That Pontiac Power's got him shaking in his boots.
Yeah, he's scared now.
If anybody wants to race, they can. I don't care.
Ryan, he's going to have chrome track bars on his car. You don't want any of that.
Oh,
Yeah, that's just trouble, brother. That's just trouble. That just means it's badass.
The reflection off the chrome heats up the ground in front of the tires to ensure traction.
When the sun's hitting it at the right angle.
Yeah. You don't ever want to race a Firebird with chrome traction bars into the sun.
But I think it would be really cool to line up. I don't care if I win or lose, but it'd be really cool to line up against Dean and his Super B and see those two next to each other.
They won't be next to each other very long. You know, I think if Dean mentioned doing some upgrades to his Super B, and I'm almost like, well, maybe I should race this Super B.
Well, my speculation, my not speculation. I'm forgetting the word. My stipulation. Stipulation would be no nitrous.
It's kind of hard to take a car that's tuned for nitrous to run it without nitrous, I think, isn't it? Don't you? Unless they make the adjustment. You have to mess with your timing or anything. If you're,
I don't know.
You usually got to take some out.
No.
Well, and I talked to him about it. He wants to race Super B versus Super B.
Oh yeah, he's game. I'm not saying
he wants
to.
Yeah.
And you couldn't pick a better guy. No.
Oh yeah, it would just be really cool to see those two sitting next to each other. Blue, the other one is getting a 6-pack hood. So blue 6-pack hood, white stripe, blue interior. So it's like, coincidence.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so. Brian's not scared of the Pontiac.
Huh?
Brian's not scared of no Pontiac.
Yeah. Dust Devil Brian just said, I ain't scared of no Pontiac.
Yeah. Well, Brian's only got a 360 though, so he should be careful. He doesn't understand Pontiac 350s.
Yeah, but he has side pipes.
The size of the bore alone is that big.
Are you thinking you're going to try to bring the Firebird, Chris?
Oh yeah, that's the plan. That's the plan. I was going to bring the Firebird because 2 weeks after when I get back from No Name, 2 weeks later, I'm driving to Mississippi for Cruising the Coast, and I usually take the Chevelle for that.
Yeah.
So unless something happens to the Firebird and some catastrophic happens, or it becomes a big block Chevy or something, or
I would not be against you putting your 396 in that Firebird.
and trust me, it's crossed my mind several times. But the 350 runs so good, there's just no reason to take it out. I mean, really.
If put the
Well, that's like the-
396 in it, I would get a little bit more concerned.
It's like the 318 in my truck if it didn't leak oil, you know. And I noticed the last few times I drove it too, I think it's got some blow by. You can kind of see it smoking when you're driving it, so I think they're giving up on it. But yeah, I mean, it runs like a top. It starts whenever you want it to.
Yeah, I can't complain about that 350. It doesn't use any oil. It doesn't smoke. It just runs. It runs good. It runs strong. For what it is. I mean, it's just a stock 350.
And what's a Firebird weigh? I mean, they're
We
duster.
waited. It's like 33 and change.
Yeah, they're light car.
Yeah. Well, there's no
Mark.
power option. Has no power steering, no power brakes, none of that. Drum brake
Mark.
bar.
Brian's
What's that?
wondering what the Jack Pine ran.
Oh, yeah. So it was running like 6.8. The best time it ran was a 6.80, and I was averaging about 98 miles an hour at the end of the eighth mile. But at Oak Grove up here, I was getting 103, 104 miles an hour in the eighth.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm hoping to get it down to 660 this year. I think it's there. I think it's a matter of me and the car just kind of getting sorted.
Yeah, you're getting more drive time behind the wheel, more comfortable with it. It'll come a lot easier, Mark.
Well, we never touched the carburetor since it was on the dyno. So,
Yeah.
And when we looked at the plugs at Oak Grove, it was running rich, and we ran it with the air cleaner all the time without the hood being sealed. It's got the foam that goes on top of that air box that kind of makes it a ram air.
Yeah.
We're going to try it with no air cleaner with the air box and see if it gains anything from that. And then got a couple other little tricks we're going to do here.
Might have to jet it down a little bit.
Yeah.
And
I had 1,000 RPM chip in it. And that's why that one run I kept hitting the chip. I was like Mopar Jeff said, take the training wheels off that thing. But
what for chip you going to put in it? $7,000 or?
If I do, I think I'd like to find like a 6,800 chip or something. On the dyno, my engine was pretty much peaking at 6,000, so it's not going to pay me much to rev it much more. But if I've been short shifting it, if I've been shifting like 55, 5,800, and it's not getting into the power band completely, I might be leaving a little on the table. So
maybe you want to go like 62 or 63.
Yeah, I want to be more conservative than.
Because there's no use in beating the shit out of it if it ain't going to make any more power. You know what I mean?
If it had better flowing heads, it would zing to 6,200 easy, but those kind of suck. So,
yeah, my 440, I was just looking at the sheet. It peaks at about 56.
Yeah.
So it's lower and it's easier to manage that.
And like I said, I just been shifting kind of by ear and seat of the pants, and I was always feeling like I wanted to shift before I was hitting the limiter, so that I'm pretty sure that I was getting close. So I don't think that's 100% why it's not.
You should put a shift light in that.
I got one. Mopar
Really?
Jeff on the wire long to reach my MSD box though, so I was going to have it in before No Name Nationals, but I'll have it in there this season.
And you can even hide that in the dash somewhere, like make it light up one of the lights or something, or or if you want to do something like that.
I've got that cool old school Mopar Attack in there.
Yeah, you don't want to take that out.
No, I'm leaving that. I mean, I don't mind lights on it or like on the dash right above it.
Yeah. Because that'll be a lot easier than the lights you hit it, you just bang a gear off.
Yeah.
Because
I always forget to look at the tach because everything's going on so fast and I'm a rookie,
Yeah, and it's just easier. You have that thing flash, you just hit it, It's a lot easier than hunting for the damn tack, trying to see where you're tacking at.
Like Jeff's even like when I run my dragster, down the strip, he goes, I can tell you what every gauge read, and he can like tell you because he's paying attention to everything in that short amount of time that he's going down the track. I'm like, holy cow. I can't imagine.
Yeah.
Mark,
that speed.
Raker's wondering if you have stock length rear shocks on the Jack Pine.
They're the 24-inch. So we went with the longer Comp Engineering shocks because of the super stock spring. I know 90% of my problem with my super stock springs is the angle of my rear shackle. I've already got like a metal sleeve, and we're going to drill a hole and move it forward about 2 inches so that the shackle's at least going straight up and down, if not angled back a little bit, so that this, because right now it's like part of the leaf spring. Like here's the shackle, and then there's the leaf spring, so it's not getting any separation.
Yeah.
You still got to fix your pinions number yet, don't you?
Well,
for final one.
I was rereading this. Ronnie Kirkpatrick from Facebook reached out to me, and he sent me pages from the Mopar Missile suspension tuning guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I was reading it, and they said automatics, the snubber's not required, but if you do run one, you want it at least a half-inch down from the floor. Okay. And the one I had was a little 2-hole snubber. I don't know if someone cut it down or what, but it was about 5 inches from the floor, even fully extended. So that one was worthless. It wasn't going to do anything. But another guy from Facebook, Jim File, he's got a 67 Cornet, and he races up at Brainerd. He said he'd let me have his snubber. So I'll meet up with him, and he's got the 3-hole snubber. So I'll try it with and see if I gain anything.
Yeah, see if anything changes with it or not.
I've got a game plan. The first thing I'm going to do is we're going to fix that shackle angle. And then once we do that, we'll try the snubber. And then after we try the snubber, then we'll try taking clamps off the back part of the springs and then maybe adding some clamps to the front spring.
Yeah. Spring clamping it. That usually helps a lot too.
And I'm going to switch my front shocks. I put them in the middle setting on the Comp Engineering shocks. So I'm going to change them to the 90-10 setting. I was afraid to do that because my car had the dead shocks in the front at first, but it had the wrong kind of springs in the back too. It didn't have the super stock springs in either. But what was happening is the front end came up immediately. And then because of the rear springs, it was actually squatting instead of getting separation and raising up like it was supposed to. So the car wound up kind of teeter-tottering. The front end would come up so hard that it would make the back end bounce, and then I'd lose traction.
Yeah, because you're shocking everything.
Yeah, that's why Brainerd, if you look at the video where I was at Brainerd racing it for the first time, and I was a rookie, I didn't know what I was doing, but you could see it unload, and then it would break loose, and I would get scared and get out of it and kind of pull to the right.
Yeah.
probably correcting oversteering with the left hand while shifting because of the back end lighting.
Mm-hmm.
But we
You
got
put
Hmm.
put racing shocks on the front of that too, didn't you?
Yeah,
Did you
they're
put
front and back competition engineering. So we went with the taller ones in the back with the super.
okay. So so it'll help with the separation on it.
Yeah,
You're not popping the shocks out.
but I got the back ones at 50/50, and I think that's good. And they're such a pain in the ass to change. That's the worst. The competition engineering shocks are amazing for the price, but you have to take the shock off to twist it to adjust it.
Oh man.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to take it off. But I'm gonna I'm gonna try the front on 90/10, and then fix that pinion angle. Are going to be the first time out down the track this season. One thing this winter, I've been doing a lot of reading and trying to figure stuff out, and then setting because they say you don't want to change too much at once. So I'm trying to figure out step by step things that I'm going to try.
Yeah, you got to do baby steps and write everything down so you don't forget it. So,
and then I've got those brand new cow tracks and split monos and everything for the Belvedere. And I thought, if nothing else, I mean, that's the beauty of having 2B bodies. I can just take those and put them on the Jack Pine and then see. But the Jack Pine's always going to be a super stock spring car, though, because it's old school. So that's why I kind of want to get those true drag tires on the front. So it's bias ply drag tire, super stock spring car, and then the other car drag radials with cow tracks.
well, I think I'm going to jump off, guys.
All right, Chris. Take care, man.
Yep, I'll talk to you guys later. Ryan, I'll talk to you later.
I'm thinking I did.
I'll talk later.
Yep.
And then I'll probably swing out tomorrow, Ryan, unless you got something else.
No, it should be available. Yep.
Okay, cool. I'll call you in the morning then. Thanks for having me on.
I'll talk to you later. Yeah, have a good night.
Thanks.
All right, everybody. So we're going to end it here. Thanks, everybody, for coming and hanging out. And probably won't be doing one next Thursday because might be out of town, but usually on Thursdays. So everybody have a good night.